Hi, welcome back. We
Ahoy!
have lost Pompon, but he
Yeah.
might join us later.
Oh no, he actually
Jithin's broke pawn, it seems. So,
he
I
broke.
saw that chant.
That
I liked that
happens.
chant. I chanted
There were
that
3
chant.
before.
hey, let's go.
But we
He
will
lost
try
Pompon
to
on
get
the way.
Pompon back. But we'll go ahead and get started with the balance that'll be going live next week on Tuesday with the bonus update. So to kick things off, let's talk a little bit about Soul Gem.
Yeah, I'm
Soul
just gonna
Gem
make
is
sure
going to be...
I'm all hydrated. Sorry, go on.
Soul Gem is
Reasonable
going to
nerf.
be
I should
getting
move
a
myself
nerf,
so you can
and we're
see
going to
that.
be
Whoops.
decreasing the bonus
Myself, not
damage
them.
of your from 35 to
I'm
25%
Pompon
of
now.
your magical power.
Here you go.
Yeah,
Would you
so
like to give us some insight as to why?
absolutely. Soul
Yeah,
Gem,
Soul Gem
we've
was
seen,
slightly overperforming.
gain in popularity a little bit. We saw the playoffs and a lot of these changes. You know, we wanted to make sure it reflected off of the itemization and the popularity of both the items and gods. Soul Gem was definitely one that we have seen being picked up a lot more often. So we're just going to be decreasing the value of that damage you get when it actually does pay off. We didn't want to change the cost. We thought its effectiveness was still pretty good, but just a little bit hit on the magical power scaling when you do get that bonus hit.
Reasonable nerf.
Okay. Perfect. Thank you so much, Clumsy. The next one we'll talk about is Sharon's coin is getting nerfed as well. Less magical power for that one as well by 10.
Wait, that's a
up with
revert, is it?
Absolutely. When we first introduced the 20% pen items between Obsidian Shard and Charon's coin, we saw a lot of people going, Charon's coin is it's kind of niche. It seems a bit odd. And Obsidian Shard was just kind of the definitely go-to meta. And since then, we kind of buffed Charon's coin a little bit more, and we've seen it just be so prevalent in these item builds that people are now skipping Rod of Tahuti for that second or third item, which was already pretty crazy, and replacing that with Charon's coin. So we're just going to be decreasing and reverting some of the power, so it's not just a must-buy so early every game.
Yeah, so she said it's
Okay.
reverting.
And thank you also for
I
correcting.
wonder which
I'm
patch
sorry,
that was.
I said
That
Sharon.
5?
I'm sure I'm wrong too, so it's okay.
Somewhere in the middle, maybe. We've also got nerfs coming for Stone of Gaia.
Yes, Stone of Gaia. It's another one of those items that, you know, we've
That's
added
a
that
soul nerf
extra
right there?
component towards in its passive, and because of having both the,
it's
the
knockup
health
part
gain
only.
from the knockups as well as just the max health over time, we've just seen it being picked up a lot, especially in the solo lane where there's a lot of warriors right now with knockups that it's just the go-to. And even when you see an enemy when you're versing an enemy without a knockup, it's still such a strong item with its stats that we thought just knocking off of some of the health gain from that passive was just a good start. And maybe we won't see it as much.
Yeah, I think that's reasonable.
Perfect. Thank you.
Not a crazy
And
nerf
that's
or anything.
actually all of the items that are going to be getting some adjustments with the update on Tuesday. So let's go ahead and get into the gods that are going to be getting some changes. First off, Morgan Lafaye. What's going on? Why is she getting nerfed? I thought she was fine.
Yeah, I mean, you know,
Good
we
change.
released the stats on the
Good
day
change.
one saying she was exactly 50% balanced, and obviously that's going to change as time goes on. With just day one, that's a low sample size, and even
they
with all
adjust
of
the
you gamers
3
out
in the
there
other
playing her
direction,
on day
she
one,
should be
it's going to
pretty
change a little bit. And as we
solid.
saw, her numbers started increasing, and she was doing a little bit better than, you know, we might expect for a new god release. So we're going to be toning down the cooldown on her Sigil Mastery. It's actually going to be a pretty big deal because her early leveled wave clear is not the strongest. Once you get to level 3 and you can use all abilities on the wave,
It's
that's
gonna hurt her
help,
level 1 a lot.
mitigate that fact. But the cooldown, especially with the cooldown heavy meta that's going on right now with mages, we think this will be a pretty heavy shift to reduce her damage overall throughout the game and also make it less frustrating to deal with.
Less CC, more importantly.
Okay. And that should help with early game as well.
Yeah, it'll be mostly early game focused, but it'll persist throughout the entire game. CDR will help mitigate that. And also, we're well aware of the different shifts that people have been suggesting, for example, with the other components of her Sigil Mastery, the slow as well as the decoy, or even possibly looking at the healing on the ulti. We're definitely going to be keeping an eye on those things, so have a look out
Healing
for
on the
future
ult.
balance changes in
Gotta anti-heal.
the future.
Cool. Thank
I think they need to buff the 3 a little bit in
Persephone's
return, and then
next
she
on
should
the
be
list as well.
pretty
She's
solid.
getting nerfed. Poor Persephone.
That would be
What's
the
going on?
best of both worlds.
Well, we just did the heavy Persephone reworks, and
Yep.
alongside that, yeah, exactly. We haven't seen her in the pro play yet because she's been banned from ranked, but we've seen her numbers skyrocket. You know, people are finding some pretty good success with Persephone, and with that, we're
I
going to be
expected
toning
that.
down on some of her
Surprised
numbers.
they were so easy on her last
Targeting
time.
Harvest as well as Flourish, so that way when you do that kind of like combo of all of her abilities at once, if someone's jumping on you, it's not going to feel as lethal, and you can play around her a little bit better.
Cool. And then this is one of my favorite ones.
Oh yeah,
Oh my
I
gosh,
think we
yes.
saw a beautiful tweet from AJ who's out on holiday right now, and he had to chime in to make sure that everyone was aware that this is coming up.
Yes, King Arthur's getting a nerf.
Yes.
Why?
Let's go.
Why King Arthur? With
I mean,
almost every
competitive
ability
reasons.
getting nerfed. What's going on?
Yeah, absolutely. King Arthur has had a pretty,
I'm wondering what
large
Ajax said
spotlight
about
on him
it.
for a long time, alongside, spoiler alert, coming up with Cucullin. But, you know, we've done a lot of nerfs to him in the past, and Bluestone meta has come up in the solo lane, and he's actually statistically, as I'm sure you guys love to hear, not actually performing that well. But we hear you guys. We know that he is strong, and we know he can be frustrating. So we're gonna hit him across the board on several different components. We're hitting several different abilities with some base damage nerfs, targeted more towards the mid to late game, as you can see. His early game is not gonna be hit for a lot of these, as well as also hitting his ultimate in a few different places. And mostly that is, if you actually beats his ultimate when you're getting striked up into the air with Excalibur's Wrath, you actually still take damage from it. And that felt a little bit punishing, and we heard that feedback. So we want to make sure that when you land from that ability, when you do successfully beats it, it doesn't feel as punishing. We're also going to be hitting the Sundering Strike jab damage as well.
He's getting a lot of nerfs.
Cool. That sounds good.
Wow.
And you were going into it a little bit with Kakolin also getting a nerf.
I didn't think it would be that hard.
It's definitely going to help out these solo laners, and Kakolin and King Arthur were definitely really fighting for the top of supremacy there in the solo lane. And Kakolin, I mean, we've seen some shifts on him in the past. He's very easy to bring back in the meta, which is a couple of damage changes as well as some survivability. So we're going to be touching both of those things. We're going to be touching the survivability with the Berserk and his bonus health shield, having its scale less per level, and we're also going to be hitting both versions of his ultimate, Spear of Mortal Pain as well as the Warcry, decreasing that base damage so it doesn't feel as punishing, and increasing the cooldown on his non-rage form, because it always felt like, even with a pretty decent cooldown of 85 seconds, it's up so often between the two different forms. And he's also got two different ultimates. It just felt a little bit overwhelming.
Well, I'm excited to see that.
That was more expected, honestly.
In the battleground. I was going to say in the real world.
Kakolin has just been very good for this entire season, basically. Except the very... No, even at the start, he used Mannequin Will as well.
To Master's Will.
Yeah, Sun Wukong is another god that we buffed consistently to try and make sure that he fought alongside those other solo laners, and we believe he has successfully reached there. We're seeing him a lot more often and with a lot more success. With the King Arthur and Kakolin heavy nerfs, we actually expect Sun Wukong to be almost the one who takes over the solo lane, especially with the Bluestone meta again. So we don't want to hit him with as heavy a nerfs as we did the other solo lane warrior gods, but we're just touching him a little bit more for the mid to late game again. You can see the early ranks of this ability aren't changing, but
Kakolin is going to be really heavily hit with that shield reduction, kind of reading along with it, so that's going to be crazy.
And then also the Dropkick King Gilgamesh is getting a nerf as well. Oh, to Dropkick.
Yeah, to his primary. Okay, cool. Yeah, Gilgamesh, I mean, he released with some pretty decent stats as well. He was very strong, and we hit him in a couple places previously. But his dropkick, we are actually fixing an issue where the ability did a little bit more base damage, a little bit more scaling when gods were kicked into a wall. And so this is going to be a nerf, specifically to all the ranks but the first one. And we're also increasing the cooldown, because we know that while he is the dropkick king, he might be doing it a little bit too often and frustrating players and stunning him against the wall, and just with his team following up, it's pretty potent. If that's what you remember.
Understandable.
We're also going to be decreasing his ultimate's initial damage, mostly again scaling towards that late game, because the early game damage is not that high, but late game where you can just drop it down on objectives.
Gilgamesh was my biggest mistake ever.
It's a big burst damage alongside everything else that it provides.
Cool.
In terms of placing him,
right along,
never as heavily misplaced a god as Gilgamesh.
She'll be getting a nerf to Stellar Burst.
Yeah, absolutely.
And there's some setup time.
And I'm actually still fine with the nerfs it's getting now.
With a lot of these changes, please definitely have a look at the patch notes and check out the dev insight, because there's a lot more that'll be going on there. Usually I'll have my other designer with me that can go back and forth with me, work on different things throughout the patch. And I know Pawn was working on pretty heavily on this one, but I have some insight, and that is there was a bug previously happening for Sol where she had all the delay on her Stellar Burst actually removed, and it went to 0. So that way, when you fired her Stellar Burst, that would actually be coupled with a basic attack projectile almost instantly. And that is a little bit too strong. And I know this is going to be a pretty controversial change, because people enjoyed that change. People enjoyed that bug, and it's something that they thought was smooth.
Good bug.
But we're fixing the bug, but we're decreasing the amount that it and how severe it was. So previously, you can say I think the numbers were somewhere around like a 0.6 second delay because of the post fire before. We're actually going to be reducing that amount. So there is going to be a little bit of animation time, and those things are really important to making a character still feel good. So you actually, while we were saying we were adding a little bit of setup time and post-fire time, it's nowhere near as much as what you might have played before this bug occurred, where it was bringing
That's not bad then.
So we definitely encourage you guys to check it out.
She's very strong right now, so it's fair.
Than it was pre-bug state.
Sweet, and like you said, you can check out the devs insight notes in the notes. They are live right now if you'd like to tune in and read along with us. Next up, we've got another mage, Giannis, getting nerfed. I love it when he gets nerfed. I feel like he's always so strong.
Everyone's happy when Giannis gets nerfed. Except for me. But it's okay. I mean, I'm a big fan of Giannis, but we talked about it with King Arthur. You know, there are some of these gods that are statistically just on the bottom, and Giannis is one of them. He's historically been just one of the worst performing gods, but that doesn't matter because when you see him being played and when he's as popular as he is, it's those moments are still going to shine. And if you've been watching the SPL, you've been seeing a couple of choice players doing absolute work with the ultimate. And we've thought about it a lot. We were debating, you know, whether it's his utility or his damage, but his damage, especially with the Staff and Meredith builds, right, it's pushing through. And there's going to be a lot of itemization changes coming up, but his ulti was one of them. Giannis would use through space and time to initiate a fight and chunk one player or multiple down already to half health, and that would decide the fight from over a wall or over 2 walls, something that other mages can't do. So we're going to be decreasing the base damage, mostly again.
I think targeting the ult is honestly fair.
I don't think it's that much of a problem early.
It's still going to be such a strong ult.
Decreasing the scaling from this ability by 10%. Now remember, it may look like 65% magical power scaling isn't that much, but he also does get more through the rest of his kit as well as his passive.
Okay. And then last up on our list for nerfs during the bonus balance, that again will be live on Tuesday, is right around the corner. Is Raijin. Raijin's going to be getting a nerf as well.
No, my drama boy.
One of those mages that we've seen, you know, shoot up in popularity just by some small buffs that we've been giving him. He's one that really rides that line, but he, you know, he can attack from range. His percussive storm is very strong, and we've noticed that, you know, the cooldown on that ability being 9 seconds, that's not something that you usually see. Even Morgan Le Fay's AO1 was already at 10 seconds, right? So we're doing a small hit there, and also reducing the mark duration on Raiju, because it actually provides a small slow on enemies for all the way up to 6 seconds. If you don't actually proc it. So this is almost more of a quality of life balance fix where, you know, it's going to just stay at 4 seconds. That slow won't be there the entire time. If you've gotten Raiju on you and you're just walking away from him, it's not going to feel as frustrating to deal with. So kind of a slap on the wrist for Raijin.
Okay, cool. So that will cover all of the bounce that's going to go live with Tuesday's bonus update. If you want to follow along, again, the notes are all live. But now we can talk about the content that's going to be going out with this update as well. So as a reminder, the Talons of Tyranny event, this will be the last bit of content that's available through that. And the Talons of Tyranny event will stay up for one more update through the mid-season update, which again is a 6 weeks update. And then the Talons of Tyranny event will be going away with the 8.8 update in August. So if you've been trying to get some Talons of Tyranny content, haven't done it yet, the time on that is decreasing. So let's talk about the content.
The time on that is decreasing.
Release and Talons of Tyranny will have some new
skins. Big in wording.
The first one is going to be Star Sentry E-Set. So let's take a look at this one.
Wow, we've seen these ones.
And I think that she looks
2 hours, 3 hours ago. Well, maybe I should get out of the middle then.
A blue-haired queen.
Yeah, I think the hair looks fantastic, and those, like, her staff is looking really cool, and I love just like her outfit as a whole. I think she's gonna be a great addition to our roster.
And the attention to detail. She's got nice nail polish on, too. It's a whole thing.
True. Yeah, that's a good point.
And the in-game model we can check out as well. We'll have some turnarounds for that so you guys can see what she looks like from all angles. And she looks amazing.
Yeah, her staff is super cool. I'm always like looking at those weapons what these mages are using. And her, like, the wings attached to her arm as well. The separation and the segmentation there with the color scheme, very cool.
Yeah,
I like all the
wings
floating pieces, like her headpiece that floats, and then the pieces from her wings as well. Let's give the voice pack a listen.
Just another day of monster slaying.
Yes, slay the monsters on the battleground. Fantastic. So that'll be part of the Talons of Tyranny event. The next skin in the Talons of Tyranny event will be Spirit of the Bear Terra.
Yes,
and
it's the monster.
I am obsessed with this. When you guys see it in game, we'll hop to that in just a second. You'll be able to see how the effects are really bringing this skin to life. But I'm all about these, like, what is it called? Aurora Borealis? Is that what the Northern Lights are called?
It's the Northern Lights in my kitchen.
Yeah.
Wait.
I feel like she's really channeling that energy and, like, bringing it down to herself. Let's check it out in game.
Whoa. That's pretty
cool. Look at that. Yes. I love how those effects really, like, bring the bear to her.
Yeah, really well situated on her model.
I want to see the basic attacks.
It's like a
definitely
RPG druid.
Yes. And let's give the voice pack a listen.
No matter the chaos that surrounds us, the earth will keep us grounded. Listen, and it will guide you.
Oh my gosh, so in touch with nature. I love it. Our audio team let us know that when she's got her they've got some drums that they've added to it. So make sure that when you test it out in PTS this weekend that you listen out for that as well. And that's going to cover all of the Talons of Tyranny content, but we also have some more content that'll be coming to you through the Oni Hunter chest. So we'll be getting a new Rama skin with the Oni Hunter chest. Let's check it out. And when this chest becomes available... Yes!
I love that. That looks cool.
I love it. And I believe that
Let's
his
bow
and arrow doesn't actually have a
It's just Oni's.
Am I right? Do you see that?
Yeah, I also see the other character in the background that's like either hunting him or helping him. It's super cool.
Oh my god, I think that they're enemies. Because I have to believe that this Rama's a good guy. And that guy back there looks like a bad guy.
Yeah, possibly.
I know that he's got red eyes, but I want him on my team.
So does that character in behind her as well.
Let's check it out in game.
It's baiting there.
Oh, it does have a string. Okay.
Yeah, that makes sense. All right. But he was looking so cool. The bow, the horns, his facial structures. I love this.
Oh my gosh, and I hear your kitty. But I love the contrast between the horns and the hair. They're so, like, you go from like an ashy, cool tones to those really fiery and bright, vibrant horns. Really, really
Go
pretty.
from spiky to spiky.
Let's give the voice pack a listen.
Be not afraid of the Oni. The Oni need fear me.
Yes, they do need to fear you, Rama.
Let's
you
go.
are correct. So again, that'll be the Oni Hunter chest. And that chest, when it becomes available, you can either go the chest route and you could also go the direct purchase route if that's more your thing. We've also got the Steel Falcon chest, which we'll be getting with the bonus update on Tuesday. And it has Steel Falcon Horus.
Ooh.
Look at this. I love the color scheme. Almost
This
like
is super
camo
cool.
color scheme.
Yeah, I don't know if he's got kind of like that mecha wing skin. I'm not sure, but I think this one's looking sweet. I'd use this.
Yeah, for sure.
Did you just ask if he has a mecha wing skin? What? I don't think he does he?
Oh my gosh, I love it. I love the orange accents. That
The
really...
inner part of the wings doesn't move. I wasn't sure. That would have been cool if it was like a second part, but it just...
I like the facial helmet and the wings for sure. I think the wings are really like the key point that I keep staring at.
And there's a lot of glowing elements, like his wings have some orange lights on it, the sides of his armor, on his hips. I really love that. Let's give the voice pack a listen.
Another day, another battle.
Another day, another battle. And he's ready for it.
Yep.
Awesome.
Looks fantastic. So again, all of that content will be available for y'all to pick up on Tuesday. And that's going to cover everything that's part of the bonus balance or the bonus update. Again, if you missed anything, if you're just now tuning in, the notes are live, so go ahead and check those out. So moving right along, we have some quality of life updates that are going to take place as well. We will talk about those right when we come back from a tiny little break. Talk to y'all in a sec.
What?
Rated T for teen.
Oh, I have to mute this one. Is it? No, yeah, maybe. Just in case. Wait, what? I thought they were gonna do the Stranger Things one, but I'm cautious with music on YouTube these days. Oh, it's a Game Pass thing. Okay, got it.
We hope you guys have been enjoying the Monster Cat Battle Pass and grinding your way through those levels, finding maybe some new music that you love, but make sure that you're checking all of that out when you're in game. Moving right along to our quality of life, we have some ranked changes that are going to be taking place as well, along with there'll be, I believe, a ranked reset and then some band count changes for duel. Do you want to go over those with me, please?
Yeah, absolutely. So I believe we started doing ranked resets for the top ranked players only. So players above Diamond 1 will be reset back to Diamond 1, and anyone above 2400 MMR will be reset back to 2400 MMR. You know, getting everyone kind of this incentive to keep pushing and grinding forwards in the ranked. And for anyone who's below that, you know, this is your chance to be a Grandmaster.
Perfect. And I'm sorry, did you talk about the duel?
I did
yet?
not, but
okay.
Going from 5 bans to 6 bans, we finally given in, and there you go. I'm sure you duel players will be able to get one more frustrating god off of the list that you're.
Remember when duel had like 3 bans?
And then they'll be another one. So Good luck with your duels.
Not only do you get an extra, the enemy team gets an extra.
That's
so
true.
Keep
So
that
The
in
less cards
mind.
as well, I suppose.
Got to be diverse.
Yes. Well, sweet. Let's go ahead and jump into all of the balance that's going to be taking place with the mid-season update. Are you laughing at your kitty?
I don't know how much you can hear, but she is the most vocal she's been in a while, and that's
I
when
love
she gets
it.
jealous and she knows everyone's paying attention to me right now.
And you're not giving her any love. I get it.
I gave her a nose boop during the little video, but that was not enough.
Not
for her.
enough. Awesome. Well, she can join us while we talk about the mid-season balance. We're going to talk about items first, and the first thing that I want to talk about is pretty spicy. These boots are made for walk-in, and they're
wow.
walking off the battleground. Tell us about
Oh
boots
my
and
god, it's
shoes.
happening.
Oh,
yeah,
What is
hydrate.
actually happening?
I'm making sure. I've got
No
two
way.
thermoses here. Ready
I wasn't sure if they were gonna go that
Alright,
hard.
Yeah, Smite without boots. It's finally happening. I don't know how. I haven't been as much in tune with how you guys were getting some spoilers for this one, but it is true. We're gonna be removing boots from the game, boots and shoes, not just for one of the roles or classes. But now instead of having boots or shoes, players are going to be gaining movement speed over the first 7 levels, going back to that amount that boots would have provided you of 18%. So for those first 7 levels, you're going to be incrementally gaining movement speed. Boots and shoes, now gone from the item store. Elixir of Speed as well, also going to be removed from the item store. There's going to be a lot of knock-on effects. This is going to affect every game mode. And
Yes.
I mean, mid-season almost, we could have just put that out and like no other changes, and a lot of things would have changed. We are really
It's gonna be
curious
chaos.
to see what everyone's gonna be doing with this. We were worried, but we think it's gonna be really exciting, especially with the addition of starter items. I guess we can talk about why we did it. And starter items, we knew that would be locking in a slot. We wanted people to, use them probably more often than not. And because of that, people
Let's
felt
go.
like they had an item slot that was taken away from their builds. And we didn't want to go too crazy. Speed elixir helps mitigate that a little bit. But boots was just one mechanism that we thought was maybe also a little bit outdated. Now, there's some risks for that. Of course, newer players coming in saying, hey, where's the boots and shoes? I'm used to other MOBAs having this. But I think right from here, we can go to, obviously with the recommended items, or just what would you get from your tier, your second item that you'd purchase after boots. But there's also just going to be so many more interesting strategies. And that's what we're really looking forward to, is this strategy in depth that will be involved in a change like this.
My brain right now is just going like, what can I do with this?
Maybe stacking items would be something that we would expect people to buy immediately. But then we almost thought, hey, maybe not, because they still have a slow ramp up, and maybe more power-based items like Bancrofts or Soul Gems. Or even in the defensive roles, we were worried that reinforced greaves, which was so strong for supports, might be something that would decrease the value of supports. But when in a world where support is free to buy breastplate or gauntlet or lotus crown immediately, there's so many more options that come to the table. And honestly, while we were worried about this, we started testing, and
this is gonna be so
almost
interesting.
immediately our worries were resolved. Right? It was just a much more interesting way of approaching the game when you don't have to worry about locking in that first item.
Yeah, I'm excited to see just how I feel like it'll open up a lot of diversity to builds, and people can really just hit the ground running. And I'm really excited for those early gameplay.
Hit the ground running, get it?
So different.
Because they're
There
running.
will be some knock-on effects, like I said. Balance will be different, and we expect the ramifications to be in future patch notes for sure. And you're going to see a couple of that stuff coming up first. But the gist of it is we expect the early game lethality to be a little bit stronger, and a couple of these changes coming up will be with that in mind.
Fascinating.
Okay. And we'll talk about Reddit.
Very interesting.
Yes,
yeah, we'll talk about
don't worry. We have thought about him.
Very, very interesting.
Sweet. And I know, like you said, Elixir of Speed, no longer necessary, because if we don't have boots,
I'm
we
gonna
don't
be
just
so
sell the boots and
confused.
then buy the speed potion. It's just,
What happens to Rat
we
now?
don't need it anymore.
Yep.
So
Elixir Speed removed from the game.
there are tons of other things coming up next. So we've also got Enchanted Spear is going to be getting a shift. What's going on with that?
Yeah, so one of the first types of items that we thought was going to be problematic were those early pen items. Specifically Enchanted Spear, and again, spoiler alert coming up next, Heavy Mace for the magical and for the physical base users. So we're going to see some shifts to both of these, because we didn't want to just take away their pen and give them nothing back. Enchanted Spear, we're going to be reducing that penetration from 10 to 5, but increasing the magical power to at least bring you back some of that oomph. But we know penetration early in the game, flat penetration, is extremely potent. especially when players are starting the game with, the base level amount. They don't have items yet. The per level hasn't increased yet. So Enchanted Spear going to get a little bit of a shift, and going right into Heavy Mace, honestly, is going to be getting a similar kind of shift, where it's going to be losing the 5 penetration from 10 to 5, but we went a different approach with this one. We thought it, be a little bit interesting, where we decrease the cost from 1500 to 1400.
Oh my god.
So maybe you start with Heavy Mace with a couple of
basic attack junglers.
Interesting for assassins, or maybe even
Golden
hunters.
Blade Rush is so easy now.
We'll see how that plays out. So that covered
Or
Heavy Mace as well. We can talk
katana.
about Ikavol. Is that how you pronounce it? Do you pronounce it Ikavol?
I say Ikavol. I'm sure Ikaival. I don't think it's Itchable.
What? Talk about
but...
Mace.
Itchable. So what's going on? That one's getting a shift as well.
Yep, exactly. So a couple of these items, Ikaival, Mystical Mail, and Wingblade, they fell into a similar boot. Cat. Don't worry,
pick her
guys.
up.
She's not hungry. She just loves attention. She's very jealous that I'm speaking to someone that's not her. This happens every day, and in my meetings, it's always the same thing.
I love her. So sweet.
So hopefully you guys are okay. I'll
Give her some
Twitter
attention.
after this.
Yes,
You want my cat
But
sleeping here?
we noticed that a couple of these items we expected to be almost must buys. So we're going to be hitting Ikavol, Mystical Mail, and Wingblade. A little bit of a shift on Ikavol, making it so that the attack speed reduction is a little bit less severe, especially in the early game, where we expect that to be pretty heavy, especially in a world without Ninja Tab Eye. That's going to be crazy, right? But increasing the power to make up for it. Mystical Mail, so I'll just go hit these 3 back to back.
Yeah.
We're actually going to be shifting its passive damage, so it's going from 40 to 30. Obviously less early, but it's going to be gaining a per level component, so it's actually going to be increasing per level, kind of scaling better towards the late game. And Wingblade, we're starting to see it a little bit more in the meta now. We expect without boost, where you have the option for movement speed blade items, we might see it a bit more. We want to give it kind of a slap on the wrist, because we expect there might be more of it, but we don't want to just gut it preemptively. So CCR being reduced from 20% to 10%.
Alrighty. And now we've got even more spicy
Mystical Mail
changes
scares with
coming.
1 per level, so up to 50 instead of 40.
A lot of our starters
max
are
rank.
getting a lot of changes.
But 30 initially.
So we'll start with Staff of Miradin getting
this is
a
going
rework.
alongside, so I guess an item rework before we go into some starter items. This is going to be a very, very interesting one. This is going to be, I mean, I'm already going to assume there's going to be some people that might be upset. Cat, come on. You want to come here?
You should hold her.
I can't.
Yes.
She doesn't really like being picked up unless it's of her own record. Chat, I know you guys. You guys are all talking about Cat instead of patch notes now. This is where I would mute myself and let Pawn talk instead. But you just you guys got a glimpse. You guys got a glimpse. That's all you get. All right.
She kind of reminds me of a Reese cup.
Her name is Illyria, and she's amazing. But yeah, you're gonna be. Is that good? Okay. I'm sorry, guys.
She got some
Meredith, there's a lot of
attention.
exciting stuff happening. Pawn got turned into a cat.
Not quite.
Not quite. Staff
That
of
is not
Meridian's
Papa.
getting a rework. So, like I said, people are gonna be probably a little bit apprehensive about this, because they're not going to be getting 2 abilities back to back after using their ultimate.
No,
but it's
I'll miss it already.
Use cases now, and it applies to a lot more characters that might have wanted to pick it up previously. And I think that was really the point of this rework, is because the previous version had some unintuitive interactions, and it kind of got relegated to just a few mages, when really we wanted to be something that could be offered to anyone who wanted to pick it up and find some sort of equal value to it. So now, sorry, Staff of Miradin will now be gaining a buff called Meredith's Brilliance, which is after you use your ultimate ability, you will now gain 80% uncapped CDR, decaying to 40% rapidly over the course of 7 seconds.
Everything?
Oh my god, and the perfect person to talk about this slid right in here. Please feel free to talk about Staff
Wait, this
of
is
Miradin.
way
Yeah.
stronger.
Welcome back.
Sorry so much.
I'm
my
so
power
excited
went
that
out
you're here. Oh, but you're
at
muted.
3.
Oh,
my power went out at 3.
There we go.
So,
oh yeah.
that was very exciting. That was a lot of extra stress that was unneeded. But I'm back. So yeah, we can talk about Staff of Miradin. So basically, we're changing the passive on this, because
Right
a lot
in
of the
there.
interactions with like double casting and having reduced damage were a bit unintuitive. But when we wanted to rework it, we wanted to make sure that it felt very intuitive to use, is also capture the spell slinging, cheating cooldown type of feel of Staff of Miradin. So you can see here now you have uncapped CDR at 80%. Which means when you actually cast your ultimate ability, let's say you have a raw and you use your 1, which is like a 10-second cooldown, that goes to 2. And this 80% decays very rapidly, so you gotta start flinging your spells, but if you do that, you get a massive cooldown reduction. So in the same spirit as old Staff of Miradin, but in a bit more intuitive way and a bit more usable on different characters.
I'm still so confused. You just reduce
I'm
all
so
abilities
excited.
instead of casting one
I
twice?
didn't know if you would be able to come back.
That sounds like way better.
Because there's still a lot of this left, and you know
Yes.
what? I'm gonna let you do all the start items. Just go for it.
Look,
I'm
I'll
gonna
take.
give
You
my
did
cat a
30
pet.
minutes. I'll take 30.
Like Habois is just
Go
gonna...
do the start items. I'm gonna play with
What?
my cat.
I'm very confused about how this is
So
supposed to
for
work.
starter, the first one we have is War Flag is going to be getting a rework.
I have to test that.
So War Flag, very good in non-conquest modes, but without any economy, no way of generating extra gold. It was really difficult for supports to really justify picking it up. So now in this rework, we're actually going to make it so that it's still focused on being the very aggressive choice. It's still focused on something that you want to use to like try and bully your lane opponents. But now when you get 3 or 4 or more stacks, so after your hunter has cleared most of the wave, you get to be aggressive. You get to go in and for everything you hit. So, for example, let's say you walk into Sylvanas, you root both your enemies, you wisp both your enemies, and you hit them both with a basic attack. That's 6 individual hit procs. That'll actually give you 6 times 8 gold and 6 times 15 health and mana to you and your allies. So huge reward for being aggressive, but you have to wait till your mini wave is kind of dead, and you actually have to get in there to actually get any benefit of it. So really interesting rework here, really focused on making its identity of being this aggressive support work, as well as having that economy to make it useful in Conquest.
Perfect. Does that also cover the upgrade as well?
Yeah, the upgrade, the only difference there is rather than gold, you actually refresh the duration of all stacks currently active when you hit. So that way you can actually kill a mini wave and kind of take that, as long as you can keep hitting your opponent, you can take that for as long as you can into the fight, which greatly increases its overall power.
It just sounds insane how much you can get out of it.
Thank you so much, Pod. And also, just as a reminder, if y'all are just now tuning in, the notes are live, so you can follow along with us as well.
It sounds like way too much sustain and gold all of a sudden if you have like a lot of
Do you have
tips.
anything to say about it?
Yeah, I would actually say if there's any insight you had on any of the previous changes, mostly specifically boots, I think
I think the big thing is with boots, one, just the whole world is going to be very different. Smite's been designed for how many years with boots? It not being here is going to change quite a lot.
I'm just thinking,
we can predict. We had a lot of internal theories.
War Flag,
a
Shankui,
lot of our internal theories
cash money.
We got new theories.
What I'm
sure
thinking.
When players get in their hands, they're going to have different theories than we did. But I mean, I think it's been really fun. I'm super excited to see what people do. The increased build flexibility. We've seen things like, again, going to Sylvanas because that's the game I played. I did War Flag Lotus Crown Rush, and no one could bully me in lane. I was like completely dominant, and then I could take that to mid lane and start bullying for.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Like
control. It was really
Sylvanas, especially with his ult with the double dots.
Because you'd have to rush boots, and now that kind of just opens up a whole new world of item building, which is really neat. So I'm excited for people to play with it, and we'll make balance changes as needed, obviously, because it's going to shake up quite a bit.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, something to watch for sure.
So far, War Flag sounds super
so
OP.
back to starters.
But I'm not sure if I'm not understanding
we also
it
have
right.
Corrupted Bluestone getting reworked as well. What's going on with Corrupted Bluestone?
It's the wonky upgrade to Bluestone Pendant, but it was a bit too wonky. It was really hard for an ability character to transition fully to attack speed. Now we're going to change it to something a bit more universally applicable. It still focuses on you wanting to use your basic attacks more than you otherwise would with Bluestone, but now has a little bit of extra health, and it actually gives you some more prots instead of just attack speed. So you're you get that extra bit of stats that you need to kind of be in the thick of it as an ability where you might not have.
Perfect. I almost started singing that TikTok song when you said that, but I'm going to keep going. I'm going to keep us focused. We've also got changes for Death's Toll coming up.
Wait,
yeah, so
one of the party was not really explained.
This is a change specifically for basic attack warriors, and this kind of starts a list of basic attack warrior changes. We've just seen them not really do well in the meta with Bluestone Pendant. And so Death's Toll, this change is actually that melee cleaves will actually heal 75% rather than 50%. So Heimdall's basic attack, that range cleave, will still be 50%, but Osiris cleave, Bellona cleave, Nike cleave, those will now heal for 75%. So it should give you a little extra health to play with them.
Oh god.
Cool.
Oh
and
god.
Death's Embrace.
Yep, Death's Embrace, same exact thing. It's the same directed line upgrade, so same logic applies there as well.
All Death Toll's back.
And Berserker's Shield is getting buffed.
Berserker Shield. So this is a
what is happening?
It's now an assassin and warrior only item, which is the
yes.
first time we've done something like this in a very long time. Especially because it's not part of like a katana tree. It's not part of like an Arthurian or mass tree where we're actually limiting items being built from a certain class. It feels kind of like cheating, but we think this is like
you love to see it. Haters hate to see it.
Really
haters hunt to see it.
For those assassins or warriors who really want to get in the thick of it, and hunters really just took over the item and forced it to be nerfed pretty significantly. And this is a case where a lot of times we can kind of balance around that, but there's no real great way to balance this item with that in mind to keep hunters from using it too effectively by keeping it balanced for warriors and assassins. So we are restricting it. We're bringing up its stats now that only assassins and warriors can build it. We're going to keep a close eye on this. This is something we don't plan on doing in the future for different items. Often you can do balance solutions. This was just kind of a very unique case where that didn't feel like an option.
Okay.
I love it.
I'm really excited for this one.
I love it. Some people will really hate it. I know it.
Correct.
That's it. Sounds good.
Hunter mains will hate it
And
even though they
then,
don't even use it right now.
Shogun's Kusari?
Yep, Shogun's Kusari.
Can you buff?
I'm
really
doing great
cool
with these pronunciations.
Yeah, really cool utility item for supports,
Ooh.
but with no health, it falls into a really weird spot where it's hard to build. Also warriors, so like the Amateras's who want to kind of provide auras for the team, or even the Osiris and Bolognas.
Huge.
They weren't really able to leverage the stats that well. So now it's getting some extra health at the cost of crowd control reduction, so they're a bit more frontline tanky, and they're getting some extra attack speed aura. I think that's a typo, it's 25 to 30%. But still a nice bump for all the warrior basic attack mains, and also
30%.
supports that want to help their team.
Perfect.
Love it.
And
especially for meme builds as well.
Is going to also get a change.
Probably more
Increase
for
some
basic
power.
attack assassins than hunters, or not hunters, warriors. Just to increase the power here. This item was really good for a long time. We did some nerfs to it, it fell off, and so now we're partially reverting some of the nerfs. We're giving it some more physical power, just so that its stats are a bit more efficient.
Alrighty.
Oh.
And then next up, we've
Here we
got
go.
changes coming for Mannequin Scepter.
Yes.
So junglers are currently really in the eye of the jungle path right now. Mannequin Scepter was not really an item they could justify going because it was too slow. And also Bumba's Dagger is a bit safe. You're not really able to leverage stats, but that safety comes at a reduced gold cost. So we'll see how that changes with boots. But Mannequins, we felt in a bootsless world, because that really affects jungle starts, still needed a buff. So we're changing it to be, first and foremost, more DPS increase. So it'll now stack to its damage quicker over 3 stacks instead of 4. It will now scale based off your physical and magical power, so it gets stronger as the game progresses, as the monsters get tougher and tougher. And also it'll heal a percentage of your health and mana rather than a flat amount, so that also scales as the game goes on.
It's gonna be
So
stronger
really
now, a
this
lot
problem was
stronger.
Your first clear with Mannequins is actually pretty good. Your
It's gonna be
second,
picked up
third,
now.
Fourth, fifth, you'd much rather have
Dropped
Eye
off.
or
I
Bumbas.
think.
So now that'll be a bit different here. Now
Because the percentage heal is too good not
much
to.
more competitive, and also helps out with ganking because it does stack that burn damage quicker.
But it's gonna be really annoying.
Scenario.
Sure.
Because the 3% rely on the dot
Excited
still.
to see how that plays out.
It's gonna be super frustrating to use.
That'll go into Mannequin Mace as well.
Oh
Yep,
boy.
it had a lower percentage amount than the base one did to make those make sense. So we just made sure that they match, so you're getting the same exact health and mana percentage.
Cool.
Mhm.
And moving right along to
Wait,
Sentinel's
mana
Gift.
restored from 2% of
That's
your
getting
maximum
buffed as
health? Wait, what?
So Benevolence has really taken over as the
Pretty sure
go-to
it's mana.
support starter. War Flag is going to hopefully shake that up a bit, but Sentinel's Gift also, we think it's really, really close, especially when you're kind of try to trade between different efficiencies. We think a small cost reduction here and some magical and physical protections will help it compete more directly. We think Benevolence in general is in a pretty good power level. It's more that we need to bring the other options up to meet it rather than bringing Benevolence down. And you'll see a
Compassion
similar,
is too good,
note
that's
when
the
we get to
problem,
Bluestone
guys.
Pendant. We're going to be talking about Warrior's Axe. No Bluestone Pendant nerf directly, but we are bringing up other starters to compete with it.
Yeah, and remember, all of these changes are coming in a world where there's no boots.
Yeah. So who knows what the starts are? I mean, we've already seen the tier 2 Fighter's Mask start be pretty competitive.
That's kind of exciting.
So we'll see how that all shakes up, especially when now you don't also have to consider buying boots. So lots of stuff that's going to change here. It's really hard to predict everything, but we're doing what we can.
It is definitely going to be messy, like no matter what.
To be a 6-week update with 2 bonuses in there, so a lot of things going on to keep track of. And then we've also got a buff coming for Conduit Gem.
Conduit Gem, relatively strong starter, is getting a buff here, but this is mostly just to kind of round out build options for mages.
Cute.
Making sure that there is a flat mana option that can build into like the Book of Thoth, the Book of the Dead, making sure that's a little bit more supported. We also think that there's going to be a bit more.
the upgrades even have mana?
For saying a time now that Boots of Focus or Shoes of Focus isn't quite there. So we also wanted to make sure that we didn't go too heavily adjusting the mage stars because we think they're particularly susceptible to a lot of the non-boots changes.
Alrighty. We've also got changes for Vampiric Shroud.
So Vampiric Shroud and also its direct upgrade Bloodsoak Shroud. Mainly, we're rather than trying to make them compete directly with with Conduit Gem and Sands of Time, we're going to try and just make them good at what their identity really is for that Bruiser Mage. So we're increasing the stats that are going to help it be a Bruiser Mage. So on the base item, you get some more health and physical protections that you could potentially take into the soul lane, or if you're worried about a particularly aggressive jungler that might come gank you at level 2, you can build this to be a bit more safe. And then the upgrade Bloodsoak Shroud, that item is going to get similar stat adjustments to make that make sense, as well as the hit, rather than restoring a flat amount, will restore percent health. And we're removing the lifesteal passive building component of that, because if you're building Bruiser and you've kind of gone this Bruiser route, you don't really have the damage to make lifesteal super efficient. Stacking that, they felt like they were fighting two very different goals. We just kind of now unified the item under the theme of this is really for
now we're cooking
Mage,
with
the
pasta.
Jormungandr who wants to go in soul lane, the Hades, the Zhong Kui, those types of characters.
That's sick.
Cool.
It's a 2% restore
and we've
now.
got Sacrificial
Health.
Shroud up next.
Per target though.
Wait, what was it? Clumsy, were you
Is
gonna
it
laugh
showing?
about something?
Yeah.
I'm just laughing at. Suppose I'm echoing. We're gonna find out if that's resolved at some point.
Neat. Good. So, Bloodsoak Shroud. No, Sacrificial Shroud, that's what we're on. This item, even though it was probably limited mostly because it was really hard to build into Vampiric Shroud, even when you did get there, the reward didn't feel quite enough for the justification of losing health when you cast abilities. So 15 extra power should help that out too.
Even more damage on it.
Neat.
Let's go.
And you talked about this a little bit earlier. We've got Warrior's Axe getting a buff as well.
Yeah, so Warrior's Axe is getting a buff, and Bluestone Pendant is not getting a nerf. And it's probably worth just kind of explaining that, because I think a lot of people were expecting a nerf there. Bluestone Pendant,
Hunters in shambles.
Adjustments, we think is actually in a pretty good spot. There's ability hunters who are using it pretty effectively. There are warriors who are using it pretty effectively. We're seeing Warrior's Axe occasionally make it into builds, but not quite there. And we think that rather than nerfing Bluestone Pendant more, really the other starters should try and compete with that, especially aggressive starters. We got note from a lot of the top-end soul laners where they were saying like they actually really like the lethality that's in the soul lane. They can really actually like box and kill each other there. So rather than like nerfing what's kind of enabling that, we want to bring other starters up to help meet that. And so in this case, Warrior's Axe, it's going to deal a little bit more at level 1 in stealing health, so from 30 to 35, but it's actually going to scale with your level now. So level 1, it's actually 36. But then as you're trading when you're like level 5, level 10,
that's
you're
not
still in the
bad.
lane, it's going to be more and more efficient at trading the health, and that is true steal. So it's not like that gets mitigated over
That
time.
is
That's
not
gonna be
bad.
just increasingly efficient as the game goes on, and this should be a nice bump to bring it more in line with Bluestone Pendant's.
Little death toll. I'm looking at death toll still.
But it'll outscale it as that
AoE
becomes
heals.
less and less relevant until they actually upgrade it to their full upgraded starters. So this should
That's where
shake
it's
up
at, I
Soul Lane
think.
a lot, but also keep the lethality that's in the Soul Lane right now.
Cool. I feel like I don't play solo lane enough, but maybe this will inspire me.
It's scary over there. You're just alone 1v1ing someone. It's spooky.
It is, and the other person always knows what they're doing more than I do,
And the other
can be
jungler
hard.
always shows up more often, you know?
Yeah.
Dude,
Man, the jungler's not
can I
defending
get
my
some
first
ganks,
blue buff
please?
respawn.
Oh, the
Big
worst.
jungle diff.
Well, moving right along, we've got Atalanta's bow is going to be getting a buff, and it will be increasing the physical power by 5.
Yep, this item
Another one.
has some strong utility as a penetration choice.
They're really forcing it.
Just making sure that it feels powerful enough to build into. That extra 5 power means a lot when it comes to hunters and just their overall efficiency as they get so many synergy stats together. So, nice bump there. Should help it out.
But with no boots though.
Neat.
Hmm.
And then next up, we've got
Atalanta the Rush.
Leather Cowl and Hunter's Cowl.
After starter.
Yes.
And those are both getting a little bit of a change to the MP5.
Yep, Death Toll is your safe option. Gilded Arrow is your option for trying to be a bit more efficient in your farm. Leather Cow's just kind of was supposed to be the one that's all around and like good at like boxing your opponent. But without any MP5, it was really hard to use your abilities. It was hard to stay in lane for any appreciable amount of time. It should still alter to like Death Toll sustain on your mana, but this extra 7 MP5 will just kind of help make it feel not so punishing to go for, especially because it has some interesting upgrades that help your team out.
It's reasonable,
we wanna
I
make
guess.
sure it's a bit more reasonable for hunters to go.
Cool. So Leather Cowl will provide 7, and
Hunters will be
Cowl
15.
will be 15. Cool.
There's so much MP5
Alrighty,
and lifesteal
moving right
right now.
along to Warding
It's really easy
Sigil
to
getting
sustain.
buffed as well. It'll be cheaper.
Yep.
Yay.
This
Save
This
money.
item is also getting a fix, which is cool. So first off, Warding Sigil, lower cost. It means that if you're worried about being bullied or you really need defensiveness early on, you can go Warding Sigil, and it's going to be lower cost. You have more gold to play with in the early game, which is especially important in a world without boots. But the second is the Infused Sigil actually got a fix to where if you got hit by an ability that like silenced you or knocked you up, you actually didn't do the explosion. That's going to be fixed, so now that explosion is going to be much more reliable. So we think also just the upgrade is going to feel better to build into, which will help this item out a lot.
Yes.
Oh, cool. And we've also got some shifts happening for Tainted Steel and Tainted Amulet as well.
Yeah, so this is really interesting. Tainted Steel, the idea is like, we want to start with healers early on if you know you're going to be facing that. But 20% does slow them down, but it's not really helpful. It's going to help you stay in lane and fight the healer. So rather than try and like buff this item in like more anti-heal or more stats, we're actually just changing its identity to match Tainted Amulet. So this starter item now, the direct inline upgrade rather than being Tainted Breastplate like it was before, is now Tainted Amulet, and it'll actually steal the healing that you reduce. So not only will you mitigate some of the healing your opponent has in lane, but that'll actually sustain you and help you fight them more efficiently. This should make it a lot more interesting to build in like matchups where you are fighting the healer more directly. And because of that, we've done some stat adjustments. We think Tainted Amulet probably could use a buff on its own right. So that went up to 20% to 30% anti-heal. And then finally, Tainted Breastplate is getting, since it's the 50% anti-heal, that's just getting some stat adjustments to make sure that late game you feel like you're sufficiently offensive with this anti-heal.
Let's go.
Okay.
That's an interesting tree now.
Jade Emperor's Crown getting buffed.
So we also looked at some items that bring interesting utility that are just kind of underperforming. Jade Emperor's Crown was one of them. It does reduce incoming physical damage, but it didn't give you enough to make you feel personally tanky when you built this. So like it kind of competes in the same space as Sovereignty in that regard. So just giving it some extra health should help that round out your build and make sure you're sufficiently tanky against different opponents. And then I think the final one is Tyrannical Plate Helm, which is a similar kind of utility item. This item brings some really interesting gameplay with trying to push your minion wave, but it was just really expensive, especially for who would likely build this your support. Just lowering the cost, making sure that feels easier to build into.
That's fair.
Just a nice change there to encourage different playstyles.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Pawn, for going over all of the item balance.
He's got
halfway through show flow.
Well,
yeah, he's got another section that he can take solo, and then I'll come back.
Oh yeah, okay. That's what I was gonna ask. If Clumsy wanted to come back.
I'm chilling. I'm having a good time. He's got this.
Okay.
He'll come back for gods. We'll trade off on gods.
Okay, sounds good. Then we will start talking about some of the big mid-season changes that are coming to relics. So first off, Meditation Cloak is getting a rework.
Correct.
What's changing about it?
So Meditation is definitely has an iconic role of being this new players really build it, but it's not that good. It competes with
good.
Shell. It has some
Shell's
applications
hard.
that are
It
good.
was used in the SPL.
It's not quite as good as the other starters, and so we're looking to fix that. So first challenge was making sure it has a clear identity that separates it from Shell. In this case, it's actually healing off your missing health. So now you want to use this when your team's low, when they're currently engaged in a fight. That's when it's most impactful. That's what separates it from Shell, just mitigating upfront damage. The second thing is now it pulses, so it's not immediate. So we can actually make this heal stronger because it's not something that like immediately burst heal your team, which feels frustrating to fight against. So it's actually just going to be much stronger in overall how much health it can restore. And then the final change is actually the upgrade. Previously, it would reduce your cooldowns. This one, Pulse, will actually reduce your cooldowns, but more because, again, it is this Pulse AoE that happens. So you can, with this upgrade, reduce your team's cooldowns by 2.5 seconds if they stay in all the ranges. So this definitely gives it different utility when you're trying to Siege of Phoenix. You get a lot of really good poke off and you want to keep going. Your support can pop Meditation. Your carries can get their cooldowns back and engage much more quickly than the enemy team can really recover from. So this should give Meditation Cloak a much better identity than it previously had before. Make it something that you actually want to build, and in playtest we have been building this quite a bit, so it's fun. We actually had to tone it down a little bit for release because it was 1 second, and that was real good.
That sounds
Wait,
like
you can
fun,
have
though.
more than one, right?
I'm excited to see how that works out.
Yep, just shaking up, especially, and that's kind of the focus here, is looking at relics.
Let's run this with like Merlin.
When they're used, they have very
what?
polarizing effects. So the next one is actually one of the polarizing effects one, Sundering Spear.
Okay.
Sundering Spear. Here we go.
Yep.
Tell us all about it, Pawn.
So Sundering Spear does have a use case at high-end play where like you can kind of like really set up Sundering Spear to burst someone down, but that kind of volatility, especially with 100% shield reduction, means that its effects can vary wildly. Also, it can miss. Most relics can't miss. So it already has a whole bunch of variants to it. We wanted to make it so that this felt more interesting to use and had some more different use cases. So we're actually going to change how it functions and give it 2 charges. So now you actually can use Sundering Spear twice, but all of its stats, how much health it takes away, how much damage it does to shields, the stacking damage debuff, it was 20% before, now it stacks up. So now you can use it on 2 different shielded targets to get rid of some of their shield. You can use it on the same person to get your damage amp and a little bit more damage out actually for hitting 2 skill shots. If you whiff one, you still have a second chance to try and hit another one. So there's a lot more... essentially, the variance of this item is lower, but you also have some flexibility in how you want to use this.
But what if you just use one?
Usage. You can bring this to multiple fights.
What happens to the cooldown?
Just a
Does it not
pretty
stop?
different item, and also has some really good synergy with Relic Dagger as a call out. So be on the lookout for that build. That's gonna be fun.
That sounds like a lot of fun. I've tried using Sundering Spear in the past.
Mm-hmm.
I don't usually pick it up, but now that it has like the 2 charges, I feel like that's a game changer.
Yeah, it's pretty. It feels really fun to use. It just you get to just be flinging these out all the time. It feels
It's
great.
like, wait, is this
awesome.
30%? Like, well, like,
Next
no,
up,
a little
we've
bit less,
got,
obviously,
Bracer
but
of Undoing and Bracer of Undoing upgrade.
Yep.
What's happening?
They're gone. So if you're reading
And
meditation,
20%
you might have
what?
been thinking something that works off how much damage I've taken recently or my missing health, as well as
This
reading
sounds
some cool
way
effect. That sounds
OP.
very familiar. Well, Bracer of Undoing was doing very similar things there, just more personalized.
Also
and
sad
in a lot of
times?
cases, it
Gonna
was
miss
either
that?
too good and was really frustrating, or it kind of just fell
I
out
want
of the meta.
Sundering Spear, though,
So we think
what?
meditation is the healthier version of that, and it already fills the kind of role that Bracer of Undoing was going for. So we're actually removing it, and we're replacing it with a new relic called Bracer of Radiance, which is focused around giving
Upgrade is
support
so much
something new and
better,
interesting
is it
to play
not?
around with. So Bracer of Radiance, this will actually now place a radiant glow at a target location that acts as a ward. So you
Yeah,
actually
it's
have
so
like
much better.
a kind of pseudo ward that is in your
Think.
inventory. This area that it creates though is actually an empowerment area. So you can pop this down like a fire giant, get some ward coverage, as well as your team can stand in it and get either power or movement speed depending on their health. And this persists for 8 seconds after you leave it. So it's actually quite long duration. You can use this to start a fight and get vision around the area. Your team can run through it and get a longer duration power buff than something like Girdle might give. But you can also use it to control spaces. And the upgrade further encourages that by making the upgrade that Radiant Glow is a sentry ward. So for supports who really want to focus on warding and giving their team that utility around objectives, they can go this Bracer of Radiance and have essentially a 100-second cooldown ward that they can pop down to maybe like clear Fire Giant, clear Gold Fury, or even just pop it down on the Phoenix just to give your team that extra 10% power while they're trying to siege. So really flexible in how it's used, and also really for supports who want to get that ward coverage without having to spend so much money on wards every
You get 10% power from
That's
a
really
ward
good.
permanently?
Yeah.
Well,
and
in the
also you get some
area?
free ones, so anybody who has a 0 at the end of the game, we see you.
Especially because
but
the
I
free
do have
one
some-
counts.
Yes, yes.
At least it's 10% power, not
but I
10%
have some
damage.
questions. Can I
But
ask you some questions about it?
Go ahead.
Jesus.
Can it be destroyed by the enemy team?
Yeah, so the enemy team can destroy this. It acts just like a ward. It doesn't provide gold to the enemy team, similar to Vision Shard. And it will refund a little bit of the cooldown back. So if someone like you pop it down and then it gets immediately destroyed, you get some of the cooldown back because you didn't get quite as much effectiveness out of it. So teams can destroy it to get rid of it.
Okay, and they would need a sentry in order to see it.
Correct. They would need a sentry to be able to see it. They actually
And
don't
they
see
don't
the
see the
field.
glow.
They don't see the field.
the tier 1 acts as a
they
ward,
only
so
ever
it's
see
effectively a ward
the thing
relic.
in the center that you can actually
as well.
attack to destroy it.
Okay.
But they will see buffs on
Holy
people, so if people run
crap.
through and they start glowing.
My
you know that
brain.
That's where one is because they just got that buff.
Okay. So they can
This
see
is so
that.
much. This is
And
more than
when
the beginning of the
somebody
season.
puts
I
it
swear.
down, does it make the same sound that the wards make?
Yeah, it's revealed. It does the
Okay.
ward stuff. You see it get placed when it gets placed, and then it kind of fades out of your vision if it's not your team's.
Okay, cool. Thank you so much for going over those quick questions I had. I was reading this and I was like, I need a couple more answers.
So that's all the relic changes. Really focus on making sure the ones that didn't have a clear identity or were struggling to see use, they have more use cases now, as well as just something more interesting for supports to build to kind of go with their variety, because they have a lot of different relics they can bring to their team. We want to make sure that they have one more that really feels specifically for them.
I just glanced
Yeah.
over the god changes.
Awesome.
So many.
Well, thank you so much for going over all the items, all of the relic changes. It kind of looks like Clumsy has a panda on his head
What?
because of the way that.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
You see?
Picture.
Like
Got
just,
a lot of banners. Pawn, which of the mid-season relic reworks are you the most excited for?
I personally am most excited for Meditation Cloak, because especially in the support role, I don't know what it is, because I've been playing support in a few of these playtests. I got just the different build starts that I can go that are really wonky that feel like they're actually working. Meditation, being able to support my team and being able to see all those numbers popping up, helping. That flow has just felt so good that I actually might just be a support me now. I don't know.
Oh, whoa, okay. I mean,
But,
support me. That works.
I'll probably play jungle still, but I at least will when I get support as my
Me
role,
every
won't
time
feel
I get
bad
bored
about
of
it.
jungle.
So I think Meditation is my most exciting one.
Nice. I like double thunder.
what about you, Clumsy? Oh yeah.
Yeah. I was gonna say it anyway. So I'm
Double Thunder.
excited. Yeah. I just love hitting people. I'm not missing my Sunders. You're getting hit every time. Yeah, I can't kill you with it, but I'm still hitting you with it.
I think I like Bracer of Radiance. I'm excited to see how that's going to play out.
Hey,
I love wards.
We got all three. Let's go.
Yeah, let's go. Let's do it.
So let's go ahead and talk about the gods that are going to be getting some changes during mid-season update as well. Are you ready to talk, Clumsy? I'm going to come to you first about Amaterasu.
I believe I'm not echoing anymore, so I think we should be okay.
Nice.
All right, sweet. Yeah, Amaterasu coming in hot. So we have a lot of solo lane changes you guys have seen between the itemization, obviously the boots changes, and the reduction of the strengths of King Arthur, Cucullin, and Sun Wukong. Amaterasu, we want to bring back a little bit. You know, we did some heavier nerfs to her previously, and now we're going to be increasing the rate at which she gains her charge for Heavenly Reflection. This is kind of to help her out in the early game, but also kind of in the team fight stage where it's not as easy to gain that charge from hitting the entire minion wave, for example. So transitioning to the late game, Heavenly Reflection will be a little bit easier to charge, and also bringing back some of the damage that we may have nerfed earlier on Dazzling Offensive.
Cool.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, and I think it's actually worth going kind of over what the idea of like all these god changes are. These are almost all buffs. I think there's one nerf in here, but the general idea was we actually looked at like the kind of lowest 40 in like win rate, pick metrics at high level, at low level, and SPL. Community kind of perception on how different gods were, and we really wanted to look at like the gods that were consistently underperforming on all those different metrics and really bring them up just to give some extra god diversity in the mid-season. Obviously tons of stuff are changing, but these gods that were consistently on the low end, these felt like the safest ones to really adjust in such a kind of chaotic different meta time that no boots is probably going to create. So if you see gods in here, almost every single one of them is going to be one that is underperforming across many of these metrics.
When everything is just gonna be
so
all messy
everybody that
afterwards
we're
anyways.
going to name, we shouldn't be afraid of them at least for the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, until this happens, then they're going to be buffed and they're going to be real good.
Okay, so next up we have Artemis, who nobody should be scared of. She's going to be getting a buff. What's happening with Artemis?
So the goal here is making sure that she has her utility feels sufficiently strong. She obviously can like really DPS someone down, and Tusk is a great teamfight ultimate, but her own personal utility and safety feels a little bit lackluster, as well as when you do combo off your support CCing someone, the Transgressor Fate locks them down, but doesn't feel like it does much damage. So we're just boosting the damage on Transgressor's Fate, boosting the movement speed you get on Vengeful Soul, and reducing the cooldown so you can use those tools more frequently.
That's a lot.
Cool. Sounds good.
Early ranks.
Next up, Clumsy, will you tell us what's happening with Baba Yaga?
Yeah, so absolutely. Baba Yaga got some previous changes. She's gotten a lot stronger and she feels a lot more smooth to play, which is super fun. But she still feels like she gets, you know, gone a little bit too much. We want to increase her defensive capabilities, specifically with her 3 blast off, reducing the cooldown. 16 seconds is pretty heavy for an ability that can be canceled while you're leaping. And the ultimate, of course, Home Sweet Home, increase that knockback strength, so someone's actually diving onto you. The knockback will push them further away, and increase that shield health that she gains initially from it. So we're overall increasing her defensive capabilities, and we're going to keep an eye out to make sure that, you know, she ends up in a balanced state.
She can stack items so much easier now since she doesn't need boots.
And then
next
we've got Baron Samdi.
I think.
What's happening with Baron Samdi, Pompon?
Hey,
so
Baron buffs.
Interesting changes here. None really focus on mid or support. They kind of roles of different Baron Samdi players. Hysteria now will gain 5 Hysteria up from 2 when you basic attack someone. So your basic attacks are much more significant in applying Hysteria.
I don't know why
Gaze
it's
will
so
now
quiet.
apply 15 per hit rather than 10, which actually means that if you double hit someone, you immediately apply the power reduction to them, even if they've had no Hysteria from before, which is a pretty big utility increase.
Wow.
As well as Consigned Spirits is going to be getting a cooldown reduction overall. Just helps out with wave clear, but also helps give your team more healing and utility over the course of the game.
Jesus.
So a few things for him.
Yep.
Okay.
A few things, definitely just rounding out his whole kit. It's not like the damage buff we've been giving him to push him to mid lane. This is much more for like overall Baron's medi play.
I love it.
Cool. And Daji is also going to be getting a buff to 1,000 cuts.
Yeah,
so use it more often.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that kind of is what it is, right? So we did those shell changes previously. We expected a lot more assassins to come back into play, and we have seen a lot more of these assassins like Pele come back in. But Daji hasn't quite hit the battlefield as strongly as we expected, and one component of that is 1,000 cuts, where the 13 seconds was a pretty heavy limitation in the jungle, where you want to make sure that you can still clear and outpace, or at least match the other jungler, and Daji wasn't quite doing it. So the cooldown reduction will really help her compete with the other junglers, specifically in terms of farming.
Cool. Something to look out for. And then, Pawn, will you let us know, it looks like Hachiman is also going to be getting a buff to Eagle Eye and Heavenly Banner.
Yeah, Eagle Eye, it just felt consistent to make it 4 shots at all ranks. This ability provides good utility and making sure you have access to that kind of like stronger poke potential where you can actually out-trade by range of the enemy hunter in the laning phase, making that just consistent across all ranks. Decreasing the cooldown so late game you have more frequency in actually applying this to enemies, as well as just lowering the mana cost because previously when you ranked it up you got more charges, but without that it just kind of felt lackluster, especially a little bit punishing even to rank it up to get that extra mana cost. So just making it flat at all ranks so that it's like there's no question in your mind whether you want to rank it up or not.
That's a lot of buffs at once.
Cool.
Mm-hmm.
We're also getting a buff
A lot more
to
damage.
a god that I've been playing a lot recently because of the Boss Cat Battle Pass.
Oh, I forgot
Hades.
Heavenly Banner actually.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's
Totally
right.
skipped that. That got scaling as well as increased attack speed. I mean, just to make sure
What?
again, his poke and lane feels good, his clear
What's
feels
up
good,
with that?
but also
These
that
buffs
extra
are so
attack speed is utility
huge.
that he uniquely brings as a hunter. Just making sure that your team feels
They're
that.
going
you
wild. I
feel
like
when
it.
you actually pop it down
Bold.
for your objective or a fire giant objective.
Alrighty. So now Hachiman's out of the way. Back to Hades.
Yes,
It's
Hades.
exciting.
What's going on with Hades, Clumsy?
You know, we're decreasing the cooldown on his Devour Souls by 1 second, but also when you ultimate, every time you hit an enemy, Hades' other abilities will have their cooldown reduced by 0.2 seconds. Now that's going to be interesting. You know, we've done some damage
Every
mitigation
time.
protection buffs on his ultimate before, but the big problem really came in is when you use your combo and then you use your ultimate, you're kind of coming back out of that ultimate with not much left in your kit. You're
What?
just base attacking. Well, now you're going to be incentivized with hitting as many enemies as you can, and that includes minions in the minion wave. And you'll be reducing the cooldowns on your other abilities, not your ultimate, but your other abilities, by as much as you can. With CDR in play, maybe you'll have them back.
Wait.
With every
what is the
tick?
cap?
No cap, but functionally, right? Like, you're gonna kill minion wave pretty fast if you use this.
No
I
cap?
believe it
There's only
takes
so
like
many-
8 times or so.
So you're gonna kill minion wave pretty fast if you choose to use this. You could burn your kit and then use your ult on a minion wave to reset it, but then you've ulted a minion wave, which is probably
Not a bad
not the
idea.
best idea. But there are
not a
some
bad one.
applications where you're fighting in the minion wave or around like an objective, or even around a camp like red buff. Like red buff fights happen all the time. That extra minion being there will actually reduce your cooldowns. You might want to stay in it just to get all your cooldowns back.
And like Tiamat monsters and stuff?
Anything that would be hit by this ability, so I believe anything that would take damage from
Oh.
abilities counts, yes.
Yeah.
Anything
should-
humanoid that takes damage.
So just not like towers. You should be fine.
Right.
Yeah, but you can't ult towers anyway, they don't take damage. Hopefully.
But what
That'd be
if?
a really fun bug if that existed for this long.
Right. Nobody had said anything. They just let it lie.
Mhm.
Well, cool. I'm excited to see what happens with Hades. Yeah.
I'm
Excited to see how it goes.
terrified.
Habwa is next up. Pom-Pom, what's going on with Habwa?
What?
Hebo has most things going for him, except that we did nerf a lot of his early game potential. We're just bringing some of that back to make sure that when he does get to late game where he can one-shot people with his ultimate, any one of his abilities being considered the ultimate, making sure just he can get there at the end stage, at the start of the game. 80 damage base would help out his both jungle clear for jungle Hebo, as well as just making sure that he can actually clear against other mid mages at the start of the game. It'll
And that
end
with
up
the
scaling
Meredith
to the
buff.
same exact value. This is really just an early game buff to help him get to late game.
Cool.
That
I
is
just realized
so
we've got so many
interesting.
gods to keep going, so I'm gonna rapid fire it a little bit more. Are
Let's
you
go.
ready, Clumsy?
Yeah,
Hell.
absolutely. Hell, so
What's
we've done
happening
a
with
lot
Hell?
of healer changes, and you're gonna see a lot of them in this patch because we did a lot of healing changes previously with the brawling changes, and now we can see the dust is settling, and Hell is a little bit underwhelming. So we're gonna be buffing her in a few different places, mostly with her offensive side scaling towards the late game. And some mana cost reduction because you're going to be firing all those different abilities in both stances. You want to make sure that you don't run out of mana too easily.
Sounds good. And then Hera's up next. Pom-Pom.
Mostly mana
So
cost, yeah.
making
just
sure
the levels
that
going.
Hera had some adjustments, kind of fallen out of the wayside, definitely can be strong. So just giving some extra base damage to Royal Assault, and I think the more interesting change here is Commanding Presence, giving Argus more magical power scaling.
Okay.
Late game, where it can be really killed very efficiently by like the enemy hunter or even like the mid mage if they can deal damage enough.
Makes sense.
Making sure that you feel sufficiently rewarded for using it, trying to get it onto targets when they land hits, or even just taking objectives or towers. So some extra help in the late game there for Argus.
Cool. Go Argus.
Mhm.
Clumsy, we've got Jormungandr to go over next. Big Sneck, what's happening?
Yeah, Big Sneck has received a lot of nerfs after he first came out because he's pretty prevalent pretty much everywhere in solo and support lanes. We hit him with some nerfs, we hit him with some buffs, and we're finally landing back up on a small revert to the basic attack damage. So it's a halfway from where it used to be, and also we're going to be increasing the movement speed that he gets while he's submerged. So that
That's
way,
nice.
once he uses it, because he does have the reveal mechanic with a sonar, and if you hit him, he can actually travel a little bit further to try and get back on top of enemies, or his own pool is faster.
I like the submerged part.
Great.
That always felt a bit
Kali is
slow
up next.
for
Pom-Pom, what's
what
happening
it
with
is.
Kali?
We're really focused on lowering her early mana costs. They all were decently high flat values, so just lowering it, giving her some extra mana to
He's
start
getting
the
buffs.
game should just help her use her abilities.
She's gonna be so good because the item
But
changes.
also, we're just increasing Lash's base damage. So when you actually get the triple shot on the target, making sure that feels sufficiently rewarding for actually hitting that relatively difficult skill shot to aim and confirm everything. It also helps speed up her clear so that she can compete with other junglers, which she's fallen behind, mostly because she can't spend mana on all her abilities, and her clear isn't just that fast in general.
So trying to turn that around a little bit.
crazy.
Alrighty. And next up we have Mulan Clumsy. Why is Mulan getting buffed?
Yeah,
Why?
so I mean, with her Mulan's release, we've kind of been consistently buffing her. We haven't really found, a point where she's been too strong, and now we're going to be hitting her with a couple of different spots. Just generally, we're going to be increasing her health, both at base and per level, and that's kind of an effort to make her a little bit more survivable, and that's going to be coming with the grapple change. So if I skip a line real quick, she's going to be gaining protections, more protections when she uses the grapple, as well as actually when she masters grapple, she'll be gaining 5% protections as well as that movement speed. Because a big complaint that we saw from Mulan players was that whether it's her ultimate, even though we allow you to now cancel it, her grapple's not the most easily maneuverable ability, especially to escape, and she just gets killed. And as a warrior, she needed a little bit of more protections, and so we hit her in these few places. And she also wasn't hitting particularly strong late game to be threatening, so Cross Strike is going to be getting a physical power scaling increase just by 5% per swing.
Interesting.
Okay, cool. That sounds good. We've also got Odin coming in hot with a buff with mid-season. Pop-Pop.
Yep, Odin and a set had
One
a very
buff?
similar story where they actually got a whole bunch of buffs, or they got reworked. They had a whole bunch of nerfs, and they were probably balanced at that point. Then we nerfed them a few more times because they were still perceived to be really strong. Iset got a lot of balance changes and has overall fallen into a much better spot, but Odin has still been struggling. So we're going through and just reverting 3 key changes that we think were too much of a nerf for him. So Lunge and Raven Shout getting that decreased cooldown, and Gungnir's Might getting that extra scaling so that when you actually throw it, you're a bit more threatening when you throw it.
Alrighty, sounds good. And now we also are going to be seeing buffs for Oleron. What's going on with Oleron, Clumsy?
So Oleron, we wanted to keep a really keen eye after the magical ADC rings and changes occurred, and we noticed that Oleron was probably the ones that got buffed the least out of those ring changes. And it's pretty obvious because he's not just a normal mage ADC. He relies on some power, especially to gain some crit. So we wanted to give him some more buffs. Overflowing Divinity is going to be getting a scaling increase, but also the really interesting one is Sanctified Field. It's going to be reducing its cooldown from the top ranks only. 140 seconds was a lot, but we wanted to be very careful because it's a pretty crazy ability. But he's also going to be gaining CCR while he's inside that time area. Because as those of you may know, Sanctified Field actually negatively affected Oleron himself with some tie-dye, inside that tie-dye field with CC. And now the CCR should help mitigate that a little bit.
Cool.
Not a fan.
It sounded like you might have something to say about it, Pom-Pom.
No, I'm good. I think we covered it all.
Okay, cool. And then Ratatosker is going to be getting a shift because of all of our boots and shoes and Elixir of Speed changes.
We did not forget about him.
We did not forget about him.
So this is just us adjusting the numbers. We think a core identity for his Acorns is that it makes him move faster than other gods on the map. But because other gods now have a bit more flexibility in what their builds are, he has to build these Acorns still. They are flexible in what they do, but it is somewhat of a drawback. We wanted to make that strength a bit more intense, so now it's a 6% increase of movement speed over other gods rather than the 2% it previously was. It looks weird because we're decreasing a whole bunch of numbers, but you have to remember he is getting the 18% base by level 7, that change that we talked about earlier with the boots removal. So he will be moving 6% faster than other gods. We just think he could probably use a little bit of a buff, but 2, this also kind of offsets any of the changes that could happen with build diversity and him not being able to fully take advantage of that.
But the items are weaker
this
than.
This is a buff.
Still.
For those who see decreased, it is a buff.
The items as a whole are still weaker compared to non-boots items. Because you don't really need to build
being
it.
shaken up in mid-season. What can we say?
Yeah.
You can just choose to not build
Can
it.
you tell us a little bit about what's going on with ZiSotto, who's also getting a buff?
Yeah, so covering both these together between Susano and Terra. Previously, we made a change for Scylla, where she was able to fire Crush while CC'd and refiring you just in times where she might not have been able to before. And a lot of people clamored that if Scylla and Iset can do those things, then Susanoo and Terra were the logical next steps. And so, we agreed we wanted to take some time to
Do it the other way around, make him not do
Now
that.
Susanoo with Typhoon and Terra with Crushing Earth,
Undo it on
now
Scylla.
both refire those when you might not expect them to previously.
That sounds like fun. And we've also got some buffs coming in for Thor. Pompon, what's going on with Thor?
Thor is another character who's been kind of struggling lately. We just want to make sure that he can utilize his passive, and when he lands with the Anvil of Dawn, he brings enough impact. So Warrior's Madness, if you're in range to be hit by a hunter, we felt like you were kind of in combat range, which is the theme of this ability. So you're actually going to be getting your Warrior's Madness at 55 units now.
That's fair.
And Anvil of Dawn, just when you crash down, you're going to get that extra 10% scaling, helping you secure some more kills more often, encouraging that very offensive Thor build versus kind of like bruiser tanky.
I guess.
Awesome. And Toth is next up getting a buff. What's going on with Toth, Clumsy?
Yeah, we made a lot of changes with Hieroglyphic Assault and how the power scaling worked on that. And in the end, we're really happy with those changes. We just think it needs a little bit of a buff in his power, so we're going to be just simply increasing the per scaling from the hits of Hieroglyphic Assault from 20 to 25. Hopefully that'll bring him a little bit more in line.
It's a fair bit of damage.
Cool.
I think Clumsy can get this next one too.
Yeah, this one's going to be interesting.
And I'm excited about this because y'all were saying that almost everybody was getting buffed except for one
Except
person.
for one, yeah. So we do
and
have
that one person.
We have a lot of the nerfs again, just the structure in the bonus balance, right? The main patch has got a lot of buffs going on. So in case you guys were wondering about that. And Tiamat is going to be getting a nerf because this took a little bit more time for us and we wanted to make sure we hit this.
Yes.
And it's going to be the Summon Serpents again. So we've talked about this in the past. And
Finally.
The idea behind Tiamat and Summon Serpents is we want to make sure that they still have their use case. And the use case is to push other lanes. Now, they have previously been too effective in that. And the problem was that even when they pushed the minion wave, 2 structures and 2 Titans and Phoenixes, they were still able to attack those while the minions were actually taking aggro. And that was a problem because the Serpents do pile up in damage, and even though we've nerfed how many can spawn from the deployables, they can still cause a lot of damage to those. So now, when a Serpent attacks a Phoenix or Titan specifically, but not the towers, because that's exempt from this rule, they'll actually take 1 pip of damage. That means they can only get 2 basic attacks off per Serpent on Phoenixes and Titans, and they will kill themselves off, and then it'll be all back onto the minions. This is another effort to make sure that the ability feels strong
but not
for its
tower.
specific purpose, and we will absolutely address it again if we see them
Just Phoenix and Titan
situation in the SPL.
Never mind.
And similar to that last statement, Summon Beast as well. We're gonna be reducing the lifetime on that one because the Minotaur Bulwark was lasting just a little bit too long. Its own control potential will be halved.
So just to be clear, the Phoenix and the Titan are not going to be attacking. They just
Exactly. The Serpents themselves, on dealing damage to a Phoenix or Titan, will immediately just reflect 1 pip of damage back. So they can only ever get 2 basic attacks. If the Phoenixes and Titans are attacking the Serpents, then of course that might even be less.
Okay, that makes sense. Cool. Thank you very much, Clumsy. Next we have Freya getting buffed. Pompon, do you want to talk about that?
So Freya is a character that's been underperforming. Lots of history there. It's probably not worth getting into too much. But we did see that she actually did get a lot better with the ring changes. So we want to make sure any change we did to Freya didn't really exacerbate super hyper carry problems that she can sometimes introduce. One thing that we just think that she over struggled with was she just really couldn't play with her abilities in lane. She now has a bit more mana to play with, so she can actually cast Radiant and Pulse more often. Just at the very start of the game, she does get out cleared by most hunters, so she still has her weaker early game to offset that. But like not casting abilities felt especially unfun and difficult to play.
Reasonable change.
What you can do at the start. So opening that up should help Freya out in a way that we don't think is going to push her too far into the hyper carry territory.
I love Freya. I'm excited to see her get a buff. And then we've also got Nox getting a buff. Clumsy, what's going on with Nox?
Well, we added that minion damage to Shadowlock, and while that seemed like a controversial change at the time, it hasn't made her overwhelmingly strong in Conquest, and we don't think that's what she needs to make her go crazy. But we also wanted to make sure it still felt effective, especially scaling into the late game.
Still needs more than that, I think.
Shadowlock, it's not for the early game; it's the scaling, magical power scaling, as well as the per rank towards the late game. So at least it'll scale better as the minions get tankier.
Fear.
Yep.
Awesome. And then last up, we're going to have a shift for, real quick, do y'all know what this cup is from?
You were saying
it's
earlier,
from the Yamoja stream.
Oh,
yes.
right.
That's what it is, yes.
Wow.
Yes, when we all watched this beautiful cup for
You had to
like
go in there like 3 in the morning.
24 hours. Yeah, we all did little things, and it was really fun. If you missed it,
Too bad.
you missed it. But anyway, Yamoja is why I brought that up, because she will be getting a shift with mid-season as well. What's going on with all of that? And it
You
seems
want
to
to
be
handle
annoying.
it, or should I?
I'll talk about the first part, then you can do
Okay.
the rest of it.
Sounds good.
I mostly want to talk about the Omi component. We are still very happy on the design team with the way Omi functions for Yamoja. You know, it is a replacement for cooldowns and mana. But one thing that we noticed was that the mana and MP5 requirement for her extra Omi was just a little bit too stifling. We were seeing people being forced to buy items that they may not want to, or just having to do some math on the side to make sure they actually got to that amount. So instead, we're going to be having her unlock her Omi at level 6, 11, and 16, allowing her just to have more build flexibility. And she will still gain mana and MP5 converted to health in a very similar way that Kukulkan does already.
So now for the rest of the changes, one thing we wanted to do is, so Yamoja is very, very prominent in the SPL level of play, but outside of that, she really struggles to see any like performance that's greater than even like 45% win rate, 44. She really definitely struggles there. So we want to try and even things out. And one thing we want to do is make sure that the high-end kind of abuse cases of CC and control are reduced while making sure that in more normal scenarios like just wave clearing, you feel like you have sufficient power. So Bouncing Bubble and Moonstrike are actually getting kind of this weird delay added, where the way it's going to work is if you go back to back to back, so if you cast 3 abilities in a row, there's actually a small delay on that 3rd ability before you can fire it again. This just makes sure that you can't chain these 2 fast together. That chain basically resets after that 3rd one, so it's really only for if you just double use it, just as fast as it was before. If you triple use it, you get a small delay. Then after that small delay, you can fire more abilities again. This just kind of slows down just how much pressure she can put out when she's generating a whole bunch of Omi. And that's being paired with also a change in Bubble Bounce for a small post-fire increase. The animation that she had of actually casting it was a bit longer than actually was being used, so you could cancel out of it quicker. So now it's going to match that, so again, that whole combo is just being slowed down a hair, so that in fights you're not constantly dealing with this barrage of slowing and CCing effects. But with that, we're also bringing back base damage, which I think is going to be a big boost to her overall performance in both wave clear, early kill potential, contributing to team fights in late game. And so we're really just looking to kind of even out what we think is really being used at the top end with some buffs that are going to help her out overall. And then the final change is River's Rebuke, one of her best team fight ults, something that really contributes a lot of strength to the SPL level of play where it's used really effectively. That's also just going to see a cooldown increase. We're hoping with this shift overall, her Omi being a bit more manageable and you have some extra conversions so your item builds are a bit more flexible. Bubble Bounce will do some more damage, but just kind of reducing how much spam and her ability to impact fights as often with her ultimate should put her into a hopefully better spot overall for all levels of play.
Awesome.
More straightforward. We had to say we'll put her, but more straightforward,
spicy and
which is good.
crazy mid-season changes that are coming for gods and items. If you missed anything, if you tuned in late, the notes are up. We've got Dev Insights on there telling you a little bit about why we're doing the things we're doing. But we're also got some map changes coming to Conquest, and we will go over those after this quick break.
Oh. A break brings Stranger Things? No? It's not music?
Now, as the tides turn in Olympus, the surrounding seas spiral into chaos.
A ship!
Yet the destruction gives way to
Yo!
lands, new encounters, and new challenges to overcome.
Yo!
After the waters rise,
Is it a beach?
will Olympus fall?
No.
To the ocean's fury.
It looks pretty. I like it.
That was awesome stuff. You just
Show
saw
me
a
more.
whole like side area that wasn't there before. Not quite side jungles, but it's definitely a lot of interesting stuff there. I think we're going to be going over all of it, showing what that was a Draugr model, right?
Yeah, for those
I
of you
love
guys
the
who remember the
ship and fish.
the Loki Trials events from the adventure, Draugr's back.
Awesome.
No reaction from the other two.
Muted.
Yes. Oh, there we go.
Yep.
Are we playing charades?
Is
One
it
word.
better?
Yep, much better.
One word, wait. Sorry about that, y'all.
Yep.
All right, the hi. Yes, that was crazy. So we're going to be able to go in-game, I believe. Is your internet good and ready, Pompon?
I am streaming. My internet looks good. I'm running around.
Yes.
I think we're good to show off everything. So
I'm actually so
yay,
excited.
Awesome.
Wait, is the skybox
Yeah.
different?
So first things first, I can see that the lighting has really changed and brightened back up.
Yes.
I'm gonna walk a little bit faster
Yes.
than normal, but yeah, you
It
can
looks
see
sunny.
the whole map has changed. It's brightened up a ton. The vine walls are gone. They no longer grow in this environment. It's inhospitable to them. But you can see already on the mini map quite a few changes here. So the big one, which we should probably just talk about immediately, is the Draugr area and duo lane.
I'm so happy.
Look at him. He's just chilling
There
there.
he is.
Oh, nice.
So this is actually a new objective for the duo lane for them to fight over. It's kind of a mini objective somewhere around a big Scorpion level of difficulty, not quite Gold Fear or Pyromancer level of difficulty. And the idea here is for Draugr, when you take it, you get a little bit of extra team gold and team experience. So it's kind of like a mini, just kind of team objective you can go for. But when your team gets it, it actually will strengthen your towers against enemy sieges and give you a little bit more oomph in taking down enemy towers. So you can definitely pick this up to help you siege or defend against sieges. This is a little extra perk.
Guys, this is a side jungle. Do you realize this?
Different to fight over, and it does come with some.
This is actually a side jungle.
For it. You can try and like bully your opponents out to try and get it. You can try and steal it from them. And in late game, if you know you're giving up Fire Giant, sometimes those scenarios happen. You can send one person over here to really quickly get it, so that you actually have extra defenses when they do come to siege down with that enhanced Fire Giant.
This patch is so
Enhanced
good.
Fire Giant definitely wins in that
It's so
game.
crazy, but it's so good.
Quite enough to just negate it, but it does help you out a little bit, and it gives you that extra strategic depth to send someone over there if you know they're doing Fire Giant.
The other thing that's been really interesting is not just the Draugr, but that location as well. While it's not quite a side jungle, it's brought a lot more just interesting boxing for the duo lane. So, you know, whether it's the hunter and the support or just the hunters facing themselves down,
so it's
you have two different ways you need to look out for. Exactly, just kind of hide and wait.
An open path outside of the lane.
Fun ganking from these angles.
And I know that we're talking about the duo lane, but I do see that like the harpies, there's two now instead of the one.
Yep. So in duo lane,
I don't know if y'all want to talk about that now.
Why is this so much fun with duo?
But the harpies have been split up. You have one on each side you can go for, as well as there's different structures over here in the back jungle.
Oh my god.
Different structures. What do you?
What's that health
You can see
thing?
over here, not quite tower structure.
It's not a green buff, is it?
The map is laid out. You can see that.
Oh yeah.
No way.
You still got your back harpies over here, but you got a mini baby Draugr who's chilling over here.
Yeah, he's ventured far away from the Draugr pit, but this is now going to be a support buff for your team once it's taken.
What?
Oh, is this the green buff?
Pretty weak. I'm just gonna give myself some items.
Yeah, so this is going to be the new jungle buff. It's going to be the green buff.
No way.
When people pick this up and grab it, jungle buffs on nearby allied gods will actually be paused in their duration, as well as providing maximum health and some protections as well for the wearer.
Wait, what?
This does not include Fire Giant buffs as well. Oh no!
What?
Oh no!
Was it the negative 1400 minutes? Okay.
Wait, what?
That's okay.
What do you mean by pause?
When you're losing your game, you just take it. Game's over. You're fine. No
crashes
MMR
for
loss.
everybody.
That's
it's a draw.
It's a draw. Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Oh no. I will quickly get back in there, but we can kind of talk about the rest of the stuff. So you can see there that we also had some different stuff on Soul Lane side, where there's actually another harpy over there as well for Soul Laners to fight over. Want to go over that a bit, Clumsy?
Yeah, so we've added a lot of intrigue, and we didn't want to leave out the Soul Lane side, so kind of a little bit between the totem and the blue buff, there's another camp there that the Soul Lane can fight over. Well, you try and gain themselves, but honestly, if you're going to be pushing totem and pushing the enemy's blue buff, you can even fight for that. Or the jungler can help out once they're actually rotating for that blue buff. They might, if the blue buff is gone, or if the Soul Lane has already got it, or they're just going for a gank, there's actually another camp for them to take with the Soul Lane, or maybe just take themselves.
Playing as a jungler, where sometimes going over Soul Lane can feel really risky because the person you're fighting can like turn the fight on its head. And so if ganks don't really go well, you feel like you've invested a lot of time on that side of the map. You have something a little extra to go over for, making that kind of failed gank a little bit softer. Or if you get a successful gank, you have a bit more to take now. So it can kind of go both ways.
Nice. I also saw in mid lane, correct me if I'm wrong, but there is like a shipwreck in the middle of the map.
Oh yeah, there's a whole bunch of new artwork too. I am back in the game, so we should be able to look at it.
Okay, so this green buff does so many things at once. It's so crazy.
There we go.
Let's see if we can.
We're back in, so you can see the map's been really brightened up, but we also have just a whole bunch of new stuff going on.
We can learn more there, but
in the center here, you can see there's a little bit like you still have the claws that were still there. If we go over to,
Ooh.
I think in the Soul Lane as well.
I honestly like the vines, though, to be honest.
So we'll head over there real quick.
There's the new camp and the shipwreck, and And obviously, like we talked about earlier, vine walls are gone with this refresh.
Correct. So you can see over here, there's the ship just kind of floating over here. Got a poor castration who
I like that.
not ready for whatever
Oh, no.
happened here.
Aww.
See, Rex
Makes me want to
is
play
over
solo.
here. So you can see some of the old stuff from different maps where like this map is really this evolving thing where different things have happened to this land. You can see old things there. You can see new things added, like these
Oh my god.
shipwrecks. Really just kind of like showing just
This is
how
insane.
the gods and their battles have been really affecting the map overall. And you'll be able to get an idea of also just this harpy area, just so you can actually see where it's at. It's on the way to blue, so you can take it while trying to go for blue. You can take it while you're like looking or waiting to gank this lane. You can fight over it if you want to like invade and try and take all these harpies. It's quite a bit of experience.
Also, it changes the fire giant
There's
pit.
definitely some stuff going on all over the map for all the lanes. Dual lane getting the Draugr objective, but solo lane getting that kind of extra thing to fight over. And then mid lane, obviously the vine wall not being here opens up a lot of different stuff for them, as well as they might have a little bit more reason to go over to the solo lane side now if you want to contest over those extra harpy resources.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of new kind of like pathing and things to fight over. And I love seeing the lore come into the battleground and like be part of the map. I think that's so neat.
Oh wow.
Aw.
Yeah.
To be honest, it looks
There's
kind of
so
depressing
much
because
stuff on the
it
map.
doesn't make
Holy.
sense, but
There's like starfish all over the place too. Like I was walking around, I saw like a random starfish somewhere, but there's one there as well. So you can definitely get a feel for kind of like what's happened to this map.
that's so neat.
Yeah, and
Shout out to the environment art team.
absolutely, the
GG.
environment art team, the level design did a fantastic job. And
Oh,
alongside
there's a
all the
jellyfish.
wait, where?
Right
Oh, look at that.
Oh yeah.
A ton of really small details.
This
that
is
the
my
environment
favorite
team has been able to put
visual
here.
map.
Just
for
really
sure.
cool stuff. Are the crabs still there? Yeah, the crabs are still there. Good. Gotta make sure.
And alongside the different objectives,
Wait, the
changes, there's
water
also a
wasn't
whole
there
lot of
before, was
balance
it?
We did with the injection of
Was
new
it?
things as well
Did they
as
just walk
the
in there?
boost
Were they
changes, of
swimming
course.
with the water before?
There's going to be a lot of changes between the fire giant, the oni, the oracle, scorpions, the harpies. Have a look at the patch notes to get a good grasp for yourselves. But we're also increasing the potency of the enhanced damage, speed, and mana buff camps, or the buff rewards.
If the lifesteal was previously 7 on enhanced red, that went to 10, just to give you an idea of the level of change. We want to make sure that they felt comparable to what purple was really giving.
I know that you crashed right before you actually got the green buff. Do you want to get the green buff?
I don't trust it.
Uh,
It might have been my timing, but it could very well be that like I don't have something loaded correctly. Obviously, by the time you get it in PTS, which will hopefully be later on, there's a few things like, for example, the map is not quite final. There's a little bit of stuff still to be kind of like refined. Obviously, this won't crash when you take it. So stuff like that we're still working through, but
You
the
hope.
buff itself, just to kind of talk about it a little bit, is a support buff. It gives you that extra sustain. It's relatively easy to kill, so that support can kill it on its own. We had a lot of iteration on balance to make sure that you felt like you could sufficiently take this when your jungler was doing other things, as a thing you could take when you got going back to lane. And it does also lock out the timer on any buff for your teammates. So if your mid laner has red buff and you don't want to lose it, if you just stand next to them, they're not losing red buff. It won't tick down. So you actually can bring buffs longer into different team fights, which is a huge boon and it makes you want your support around you to keep the buff longer.
It's so interesting.
that is epic.
Yep. A buff definitely fitting for supports.
The upgrade version having
I love it.
HP5.
I'm excited to be
and
the
MP5
carry that
as well.
has a support who has that.
Nice.
I will have to change map. So if we're done with maps, I could try and take it and see what
Do
happens.
it. Risk
Yeah,
it for
yeah,
the
yeah.
biscuit.
Try to take it.
Yeah, it's probably actually my timer thing. I think
There we go.
Ooh,
Bam, you get it. You get the new belt visuals. Yeah, the belt,
Pretty.
the buff information.
wait,
Tells
is
you what
that
exactly
not?
what's
I think it's
gonna
in
do,
another map already. Is
all the
that
stuff you
green?
expect from a buff.
Everything
I've
you
seen
need
this
from
before.
a buff. Well, perfect. Thank you so much. I appreciate you going through all of the
it a Profit
conquest
buff?
changes
Oh.
for us, showing us what's going on with the map. And that's going to cover it for conquest stuff for now. If you have any questions, make sure you check out the notes. But now let's talk about some community news, some stuff that's happening for y'all to take part in. So the first thing I want to talk to y'all about is we do have the summer solstice sale. It is still going on, but it will be ending tomorrow. So if you've been holding out for some reason, go ahead and grab what you need. It will be going away tomorrow. This weekend, you can earn 2 times worshippers. You can follow us on social for that, but it'll be Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And then also wanted to go ahead and give a big shout out to the Jazzberry Jams.
Hey.
So we got the Jade Dragons who won over the weekend, so congratulations to y'all. get jammed.
Those are really fun games to watch. Very fun.
I missed it, unfortunately, and I had planned on having Jelly on the show, so I could be like eating jelly and be like, get jammed.
Nice.
Well,
But-
the first
oh,
weekend
I'm
I wasn't
sorry.
actually like tearing up my house, so I actually got to watch it like fully, like as it was happening. It was really good.
That's what's up. SPL games are always so hype. So now we will get into the skins that we'll be releasing with the mid-season update. But first, let's take a quick break and look at Morgan Le Fay real quick.
Wait, what? Why are we looking at Morgan Le Fay? I've already seen Morgan Le Fay. At least I can leave this open without any worries about anything else.
Apologies.
What I'll say at this point, there's a lot of crazy changes of all kinds that I cannot possibly all cover in this. So definitely have to do a very long patch notes review where I go into this in more detail. Because there's a lot of crazy stuff, and I some of that stuff I don't even understand yet in its exact functionality. So yeah, extremely exciting overall, and I'm very happy that they went so all out with the changes. It makes me very, very happy that they just decided to just, you know, go 200% on everything and just see how it goes, instead of doing these careful changes that they did throughout the split, which I guess is because of competitive as well. Now that there's a break from competitive, they're just saying we just go all in until further notice, and I like that a lot.
Welcome back. We just took a little look at some Morgan Le Fay stuff. With Morgan Le Fay hitting the battleground, she's actually going to be bringing a new event to Smite. So that will be the Court of Midnight event. With that will come all kinds of new skins that will release periodically, but we'll go ahead and show you the skins that we'll be releasing with the mid-season update, along with what the final reward will be as well, if you want to go for the buy all option and have that, I was about to say that Poseidon skin and spoil it. But we'll show you all of that. So the first skin that I'd like to show y'all is Hyperspace Loki. So all the Loki mains, get ready. This will be part of the new Court of Midnight
Hyperscape?
He's so handsome. He doesn't deserve to be that handsome.
I was gonna say
He's very handsome.
Suave.
He looks like
I like him a lot.
I like the eye too. That's like augmented.
Yes.
character from
And it
Mandalorian.
looks like, all of his gear has been
Or
upgraded.
Guardians of the
He's
Galaxy
ready
or
to
something.
go. He's not a noob. He's been through this before. Let's check it out in game with a turnaround video.
Oh wow,
Ooh,
that
looks so
actually,
good.
Look at
that's a
him.
really
I
high
don't think
quality
Loki's ever
face
looked
model
so
for
good.
I
Smite.
actually like how like thick that jacket looks on him. I was worried that like, it might be like a bit too like kind of flimsy, but no, that's like
Thick
super
jacket.
robust like space pirate jacket. It's awesome.
That's a
Yes, he
really
looks
cool
like he's being
skin.
protected and he's warm.
True.
That skin makes me want to play Loki.
Let's listen to what he has to say.
Scum.
Into the skies! We have more ships to plunder, boys!
Ooh, good voice pick as
He
well.
has mechanical leg. I didn't even
Yeah,
notice.
the left leg.
Yes.
Oh,
That's
so
a
I love
really
it.
cool skin.
And he's got like the skull and crossbones, I believe, was on his
Oh, I get it.
back.
Yeah, I saw
want
that.
it.
So he's almost like space pirate guy
Oh, it's an event
who is
skin.
going to take over
Wow,
the battleground,
okay.
and I like him. I think he's
What?
great. He can join my team.
What's the event? How does this work?
Next up with the event, we've got our first Morgan Le Fay skin, Crimson Magus Morgan Le Fay.
Whoa.
Yo.
she's so
I'm-
creepy.
The dragon in the background too.
Yes.
Oh my god.
I don't even like Morgan, but I
Oh,
like
I
this.
didn't even notice that. I was like so stuck on looking at those vivid
Might have to
colors
play her
going
again.
from her gown. Wow.
Her sword
that's-
too, super cool.
Yeah, the white and the red and the gold. Oh, that color scheme is just awesome.
I love it. Let's hop in game and see what she looks like.
Just as cool in game.
Oh my god, yes.
Oh, the
I
art
love
style
it.
of
It's like
that.
almost pearly or like, dare I say, like bone material?
Yeah,
almost?
sure.
I want more skins like this now.
It's gorgeous.
Oh, look at the sword.
Oh,
I
my
love it.
god, yes. I know that
It's
it's
not
not part
even-
of the skin, but
it's
I
not
just
even
love
fair
her
that Morgan gets that
sword is
before anyone
floating
else gets
behind
it.
her. I know that's for all of her things, but I just think that's so
That
sick.
is such a cool skin.
Real spooky.
Let's listen to.
It's a
her
slight
This battlefield is scarred with brutality and torment. A fitting location for my ritual magics.
I'd say
fitting
it's somewhere
voice
between
for an amazing skin.
Warframe and
I love it, I love it, I
Warhammer.
love it all day. So this
you
is
blend
going
them
to be, again,
together.
the first Morgan Le
Or
Fay skin
Warframe
that we
and
see
Diablo or something.
hitting the battleground, and I think that our art team really knocked it out of the park.
Yeah,
Really,
that's
really cool.
incredible. That's awesome looking.
And then
can see why they're doing like a
final
third spin when
reward
now
of
they
the
start
Court
off
of
the two.
Midnight event is going to be Might of Neptune Poseidon. So let's check out.
Ooh.
Look at that.
Ooh.
It's got like a similar genre of theme going on, and I mean that's a Kraken. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Version of it, why the other one was more like.
Poseidon has so many good
like,
skins. Like it doesn't even make a
futuristic,
difference to me.
Dark magic.
Mm.
Oh, this is cool.
And I believe we're gonna hop in game to check this one out. Are you able to hop in game?
I did not have that on my notes, and I am not ready. I can.
Okay, that's fine.
If you're ready to spoil something, because I'm not on the right map.
Oh.
That's okay. We can do
Is
the
he-
turnaround for this, and we can post on social some more of our.
Oh no,
in-game
he's
stuff
talking about Arena.
as well.
See?
You can also
Look at
come
him.
back to it because I know everyone wants to see Kraken, so we can come back to it in a little bit.
Yeah, let's
Why
come
is the
back. That'd
mic
be awesome.
volumes constantly changing?
But I love that. He's almost like his what are they called? They're not like drapes. Like his cloak of sorts almost looks like it's got like cutouts and an interesting geometry to it.
I still love the weapon. I'm always like looking at those feature points, and I think it looks super sick.
I do like the weapon a lot. Huge
Let's listen to the
blaster
voice
compared to
pack.
his normal
Our
trident.
foes can still serve our purpose. How unfortunate they only have the capacity to understand violence.
The echo on that was sick. Like
Yeah, it's creepy.
I can tell he's in his helmet, talking.
Reverberates in your head.
That looks awesome. But that is going to be all of the new content that's part of the Court of Midnight event. Again, it's going to be a new event that launches with mid-season, so keep an eye out for that.
How's it work?
And again, that Poseidon will be the unlimited reward at the end of the event. You can buy all and play it day one if you'd like, and then continuously earn content throughout the event.
Yep, and
But
then we'll go
besides-
back and see what the Kraken looks like because we have.
Ironically, the Poseidon part
Yes,
is
yes, yes.
the least important
the
one to
card
me.
art
The
and
other skins are way cooler in my opinion.
And now I want to talk to you guys about some more content that's coming with the update, which is part of the brunch time.
Like, I have enough
chest.
cool Poseidon
Check
skins.
this out. I don't want to say anything. Just look.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah. he's
So-
a stack of pancakes.
I want to hear the voice pack.
This is Sunny Side Up Bacchus. Say hi, everybody.
Oh my gosh.
We've got the
The
Hebo
face
and
being
the
made of, like,
Thanatos.
Of eyes and like bacon.
Yes.
He has, like,
If anyone wants to
bacon
tell
felt.
me again that Smite is a
smell.
serious game about
Joke.
gods, I'll show them the
I hope
skin.
that. Oh, actually, his VXG, he pours syrup all over himself.
Oh, see, that's
Oh
yeah.
Yes.
That's you know what?
gosh.
That's what I would want for that skin.
Perfect.
Fried.
And
Oh my gosh.
the
I'm
fried
hungry.
chicken, the cinnamon roll. I'm like, this looks pretty dank, and somebody should cosplay this, but use like real food.
Oh
Oh.
god, that would get so messy at a con.
Yeah, it'd be sweaty
The
and
con
disgusting.
staff would hate you.
Imagine the
Yeah,
You
maple
gave them a
syrup.
pancake.
Oh.
Right
Let's listen
from
to the
your
voice
cosplay.
lines.
Pour some butter on moi, will ya?
God.
Okay, that's what I was
Nice.
expecting.
I love
Oh,
it.
it's too
I
good.
love it. So
Oh my god.
that tasty treat will be available through the brunch time chest. You could also get it for direct purchase if that's more your thing. And then the last little bit of content that we'll have available for the mid-season update will be
Alright.
this.
Yeah. No, I like this.
I was like, wait, am I about to say something I shouldn't say?
No.
Do you want to introduce it? The Morgan skin?
Yeah, it's the Doomsayer Sensei the Morgan skin, and I mean, I love this line.
Oh,
and
it's a cat
she looking
theme?
cute.
Oh my god,
This
yes,
is
she does.
my favorite, the Morgan skin.
Is it
Yeah,
not?
I think so too.
I love it. I feel like she
Yeah.
looks like a teacher or something.
Can't
and I'm
tell.
like,
It
teach
could
me a
be,
lesson.
but-
I love
Sensei, please. We've got the handsome Loki, and we've got the cute the Morgan. I'm all for it.
you. I love it. Let's hop in game to check it out. Oh, and her clones are in the card art and everything.
I love the asymmetry. I think that's one of my favorite parts. You got like, the
I
gauntlet and
don't
the shoulder
get
pad on
this
the one
skin.
side, and just the simple
Mm-hmm.
left holding the staff. Very cool.
What's the
And
point?
even
Like,
her
what's the?
tights are asymmetrical
Yeah,
as well.
that's true.
I
And
guess
her
it's some
hair is
anime
sick.
thing I don't understand.
Oh yeah, everything about the skin is sick.
I love her. Let's hear what she has to say. Maybe she'll tell us something cool.
Class is in session.
Well, simple
Okay,
to the
all
point.
right. Yeah.
That didn't explain it
And I'm
further
here
either.
to learn. Right. Oh, awesome. Well, that is going to cover everything besides the Stranger Things Battle Pass in terms of
No, it's
content
not.
that's
They have
coming
more
with the
skins.
mid-season update. So
really
check
sick
it all
ones
out.
as
Again, we've
well.
got new events, new chests, new skins, new balance, new
Really
relics, a little
sick
bit of
ones.
everything.
I'm not sure why she's not
But we
talking about
will
them.
hop into the Stranger Things Battle Pass right after this. Stick with us.
Like, there are really cool skins. Why are you not talking about a bunch of really cool skins that you have? Oh, I need to mute. Oh, I need to mute. I can't show them right now, but there's a bunch of summer skins. I don't even want to spoil what they are in case they're like not. Like, it's gonna be much cooler to see them if they show them, like see them with a surprise, because they're really cool. But we'll see. Maybe they get them after the battle pass. Or maybe they don't, and I'll look at them tomorrow on the patch notes review. I'm still not over this patch. This is crazy. This is so much wild stuff. I actually think that we have never had that many significant changes at once. Like, I think even the start of the season where we went from like Blessings to Stardust, or before that, I think even that was less than this. Just removing boots.
What has happened?
Oh my god, the
my
upside down.
goodness.
Yeah, I get it.
It seems like we're upside down. Welcome back. I am Titan Cupcake, still here with Clumsy, but we have Hi-Res Dandy with us for the first time ever. Welcome, Hi-Res Dandy. How are you?
Very good. Definitely feeling upside down right now.
Yes.
Blood's running to my head.
And I'm so glad that I put like a lot of hairspray so my hair wouldn't,
That's true.
This makes it very uncomfortable. It's giving me a headache to watch.
But just to introduce y'all real quick, Hi-Res Dandy is the Smite Community Manager as well with me, so we work on the same team. Welcome. Thank you for being here. Thanks for joining us. And this is your first update show.
Yeah, it's awesome and interesting and cool and horrifying, and I love being here. So.
Yay! And we are going to be talking about all things Stranger Things for the Stranger Things Battle Pass that launches with the mid-season update. And with that, we're actually going to be launching the Upside Down Arena. So I believe we'll be able to hop in-game and take a look at all the changes that are coming.
Yes, please, just so I don't have to see the upside down camera anymore.
Nice.
Oh my goodness.
Wow.
That's
Wait, is Hopper holding... Wait, I want to see how Hopper's holding.
So... right off the bat, you can see that we've got the Mind Flayer in the sky, peering down on you. We've got like this darker.
The portals.
Yes. The portals were rebuilt.
I think the portals are so cool.
So well done. That looks amazing.
Oh wow.
And it's just got that same kind of like gooiness.
Yeah.
Everyone is getting something this patch, I feel. No matter what mode you're playing, something's changing for you.
Throughout the map. So as you play, what is that to the left?
That looks curious.
Yeah. We've got the Christmas lights.
Oh, sweet. Nice.
Wait, OV.
It is so awesome.
Is that OC? What?
If you, like we said, there's tons of Easter eggs. So as you play, check them out, explore the map, look around, look up, look down, look at everything.
It's going to be
always look behind you.
Yeah.
Oh, is it gonna be jump scares?
Check out what that wall might say with the Christmas lights. I don't know. You check it out. See what you think.
True. Let us know.
Maybe that was VGS actually with
movement in the environment as well, so it'll be almost like a breathing map of sorts on the arena map. Also,
creepy.
Yeah.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
And then we also have the crowd that we usually have that's always cheering you on. That's actually all going to be sludge and cocoons to reference the Upside Down as well. So really sick attention to detail. Amazing work from the
So if you get enough kills, it's
really
just a slobbering sound.
Being able to show off all the things that they've been up to with mid-season has been really fun. So again, check out the Upside Down Arena when the update goes live with the mid-season update. But we've also got tons of different Battle Pass skins to go over as well. So this Battle Pass will also have we'll have the paid track, the free track, and we'll also have a prestige will be coming back again as well. So the first little bit that we will be talking about is going to be Hopper Apollo, who is going to be the buy-in reward. And he is here to figure out what is going on and discover a way to beat the craziness of Stranger Things and the Upside Down.
Yeah.
Let's take a look in-game. He looks so sick.
Oh yeah, that's awesome. He's about to solve some problems.
Yes, and who better to help out the team than Apollo? Like Hopper Apollo coming to the rescue. I'm like, yes, please do. I love the guns. I'm excited to see Apollo be shooting them off.
I feel like
It's
there's
gonna be
something wrong on
fantastic.
the renders because the face
Listen
looked
to the
better in
voice
the other
pack.
trailer.
We're gonna need some rules around here. Rule number 1, always keep the curtains drawn.
That's so good.
That's awesome. Our audio team wanted us to shout out Noah from our audio team because he put a lot of work into making sure that Hopper's basic attacks feel really good and that his ultimate sounded great to incorporate the Stranger Things music theme. So keep an ear out for all of those little things.
I have to mute that again.
For. And then also he has a special VXG where he will leave a waffle out for 11 on the ground and the waffle will persist and just chill. And then of course, you know, he's going to be riding on that helicopter. I believe we can hop in game and take a look at some of the things that, like the VXG, listen to what he has to say.
I'm gonna have to have a thing on mute.
It looks so good.
It's very good. I'm so excited. I'm gonna leave waffles everywhere.
Yes, for real. It'll be like leaving the little trail of waffles to find your way back to base.
Yeah, is that what Bacchus did for his skin? He just picked up all the waffles?
Yes, he reassembled himself after Hopper Apollo left all the waffles behind.
Yeah, that's new lane comp. You have to have the 2 breakfast warriors.
Oh, true.
I actually want to do that now.
Oh, here he is.
Kinda
and
trolling.
he's in the upside down arena. It looks amazing.
So good.
Oh, the gun sounds so different.
Ooh.
Oh, neat.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
I
thought
like
we'd
this.
wind up on that.
I can already see what you meant to with the audio effects. All the attacks sound and feel really good.
Oh, that's cool. Is this like a full charge? I like that.
Oh, I like this. He yells.
Oh, so
That's
cool.
so awesome.
What?
Aww.
Oh.
Oh.
Aw, it's so sweet. Leaving a little waffle behind for 11.
There it is.
There it is. Yeah, we left
No,
it
it's
stuck in the
demons.
wrong. The upside
Can't eat
down
that.
confiscated it.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so awesome. And here we go into the ult. Yes.
So good.
We go take a look at the crowd that's now covered in all kinds of goop. Oh, that
Can't
looks
hear
so sick.
music.
So again, this is going to be your buy-in reward. So you get the battle pass, and then immediately you've got access to this skin right here for Apollo.
Guess I didn't have the music on. I was so
And you can
quiet.
play Hopper.
Oh, that actually sounds super cool with the attack speed.
It really does.
What?
Yep.
Oh.
This does feel and sound really smooth. It works so well for Apollo. Sweet, and now we've also got the Demigorgon Bakasura, and I can't think of a better suited god. Oh my god, look at this.
Yeah,
I'm
there's
gonna
only
play
one
this.
choice, really. Bakasura makes
Yeah.
the most sense because this is creepy.
Yeah,
Yes.
you scared me switching to this card art.
I love the card art looking like you're hiding. You know, it's like, it reminds me of
yep.
that episode where everybody's in that, the room and they don't want to make the noises, they don't want people to find them.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
gosh.
Oh, it just got worse.
Because now it's moving. It's
Yeah.
chasing.
I want to see the eat
Now it's
animation.
after you. Oh my god. Like, if you weren't scared of Bakasura before,
Right?
let's give it a listen
And
to
I
the
want to see
voice
the
pack.
3.
I would expect nothing less.
It's like the
Yeah,
Camelot
Stop back after
skin.
the Bacchus skin.
Jurassic.
Yeah.
I love it, and I love like the attention to detail because there is going to be a VXG where he can go on all fours.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love how fidgety, it's horrifying
Yes.
to watch.
Yeah.
Yes. Let's see if we can hop in game and give it a look. And the audio team told me that.
Oh.
Nope.
Oh,
My.
God, that is. Ooh.
So creepy.
No, don't do that.
Oh my god, stop! Oh, imagine, this is why I'm going to have nightmares. It is so sick. And the sounds are so spot on.
Oh, it's nice. You can
Yeah,
still hear the
like
Bakasura
shrieking.
sound in there, but you
So
still
good.
hear Now it's
the audio team wanted me to let y'all know that they worked really hard to make sure that the Demigorgon was able to keep Bakasura's sound identifiable, but match the textures of the character and make him sound a lot cooler. And
Hard to
Chad
see the
put
three
a lot
though,
of
I
work
think.
into this from the audio side, so thank you very much, Chad.
Yeah, thank you for sure, Chad, because this is nightmare fuel.
Yes, yes.
There it is.
Oh my god, he eats it with the head. Yes, it's perfect.
Nothing is safe. Oh god.
Oh my god, this is brilliant.
This is amazing. I want to play games where everybody is playing the Stranger Things Battle Pass skins
All right.
in the Upside Down Arena.
That's
like,
terrifying.
Wait, what? I thought this was gonna be. I thought it was gonna be the Hound.
Oh, he even ate one of his
So
little minions.
amazing. Fantastic job from our team. This looks incredible.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
And we've also
boy.
got the Mind Flayer Sylvanas. So not
You're
only
gonna
will
see
the
so
Mind
much
Flayer be in
Bakasura,
the
especially
sky
with the
during the
patch changes.
Upside Down
so.
Arena, but we will also have the Sylvana skin available for you as well. And talk about nightmare fuel.
Yeah.
It is those teeth, and if we look at it in game, you'll be able to see that the textures on. I'm trying to say his skin, but it is not skin.
Oh my gosh, his rotted, fetid corpses. Yeah, just that is nasty and amazing at the same time.
He's way too wet. No.
Jesus,
yes,
they're
and
like.
and it again,
all
like,
of those skins
breathes
go
the same way that, like,
really
the map
hard.
does. You can like watch it like grow and ooze and be
Tendrils.
disgusting.
Oh, yeah, it's like
crossing through his body.
They really
moving,
made
yeah.
sure that they were happy with the collab.
Let's
Beautiful.
give the voice pack a listen.
Wow.
Amazing.
Very much so.
Shout outs to Noah on the audio team for making sure that he sounded really juicy and dark.
Yeah, it sounds like he's in my head and I don't like it.
Ooh, his movement. Oh my gosh, that's super cool. He's
Yeah.
like spitting like coagulated
The
blood.
basic
almost. Oh, man.
attack, that
Yes.
tentacle thing that launches it. Oh god.
Oh my gosh.
Wait,
yes.
what? It's like a little arm coming out of his back to do that?
Yeah.
Oh.
For his basic attacks? Yeah, oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh, I didn't even notice that.
Oh.
It's like a corpse like arm coming out of him. That's
That
the
is
attention to detail in this is
nasty.
fantastic.
Yes.
There's
Oh.
awful little Demogorgon flowers.
Oh.
Oh yeah.
Ooh.
Oh. Skin makes me sick in a good
Oh.
way.
All the squishy sounds too. I'm like,
Oh.
Parasites. I like it. This is really cool.
and he also has a VXG where he will turn into a big ball of goo.
Oh no.
Oh, nice,
Oh
nice, nice.
boy. What?
Oh my gosh.
Oh,
The
sounds it makes.
Oh my god, look at it.
yeah.
The fact that it's just constantly moving is so unsettling.
Oh,
This
Yeah.
it's so
is-
creepy.
Yeah.
I feel like it's also
walk
less
around the
visible
map,
like
just
this compared to
chilling.
normal
I heard we wanna
Sylvanas.
check out
If you
his
just
wave as
gank
well.
like that.
Or could you do it standing still? Oh, oh what?
Oh my god, look at it. Is it weird that I think that's like really cute?
I was about to say, I'm struggling because the word cute doesn't feel right, but I want to say
But it is.
Yeah.
But it is.
All right, we have different definitions of cute. That is terrifying.
I love it.
Oh boy.
Can we see? Yeah.
This is
Amazing.
so gross, but so good. What even is the word?
So
Something
yeah,
gross
we've got
but
the
good.
Mind Flayer
Good.
Sylvanas.
This is so
and then
good.
last but not least, of course, we have 11. So Scylla, we could
Iconic.
let right? I'm sure y'all have
Let's
seen this
let's
art
see if she
before. This
throws
would
the
be her
car in the
card
old.
art.
I really hope she does.
So sorry, go ahead.
I was just say the red highlights it so well.
Yes. And her outfit, that iconic outfit.
Yeah, so memorable.
I'm so excited for y'all to see this in game too and see how the abilities interact with like 11's lore. But let's listen to the voice pack real quick.
I'm the monster.
Yes, you are.
Yeah.
Yes,
I
you
thought
are.
there was more to that line.
Man, that's
Slay.
so excited.
What are you trying to do, Pawn? Pawn's like typing something.
Oh.
So yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Uh-huh.
It's the boulder.
telekinetic powers.
Yeah. That
Yes.
looks so
Also
good.
nice how you can still hear the sound. Oh.
So sick.
Yeah, I love the color of the
Nicely
effects
done.
too.
It keeps the visibility. Better than
They
some
really
other Scylla
pop on
skins,
this
actually.
map. It's like you know that she's here to help.
Yeah. I like
And I
too.
love the door.
Yeah, the slamming noises. That sounds so good.
But the
Yeah, it's
ult.
so creepy.
Oh,
damn.
yes.
That is so, especially with the the car
Actually
alarm.
holding the
That's
car.
awesome.
So if you get a penta, you're just gonna throw 5 cars after each.
Nice. I want to see more.
Yes,
smashing
yes, yes,
time.
yes, yes.
Yeah, if you have a look as well, I think upon showing it off well, that car actually gets more and more smashed
I
out.
was
Look at
gonna
that. You can see it's on fire
Oh
now.
my
Wow.
god, I didn't even notice that.
Same. Yeah, that's awesome.
Again, it's all about that attention to detail. Very
Oh
cool.
my-
Well
I
done
mean,
to, like,
you
all
gotta
the
get
different
it.
art teams.
Quarter first for
Round
it
of
to really.
applause.
And to
Yeah,
the
so
tech
we
teams as
start with
well
the
to get
chill.
these all in.
That is so sick. I did not know that. Oh my god, dude.
If you got a burning car, you did something right, apparently.
That's so true.
Oh my, yes, and that's her VXG where she floats.
That's so intimidating.
Oh, so they actually didn't use the old
And
Charlie's
then
VXG.
I believe that when she
Okay.
uses her ability where she summons the door, I believe she puts on a blindfold.
Oh, yeah.
that's
yeah.
crazy.
I just saw it. Yeah.
That's so cool.
Oh my god, this is so cool.
And can we look at her face while she does these things? Because I don't want to say something that's not true, but I think that there's something else. It might be
Nice.
after her ult. But I love that. Oh my gosh.
I can save them.
I can save them. Okay. Okay. She's got her blindfold on.
This is gonna take a while.
Car crash.
The car comes crashing down.
It's the two, she cracks her neck. Interesting.
You said with her two, she cracks her neck?
Oh.
Yeah, if you look at that when she pops it, she
Oh my god.
Oh, yes, yes. To like, or like what's the word? Yeah, detonate. Yes.
Oh my god. That's some really cool details in
With
there.
all
I would have
of these,
never
man,
noticed
the
that if they
attention
didn't
to
point it
detail
out.
is just insane. Like all the references are just so enjoyable to see.
It is. Like, so many details were brought to life.
Wait, are there like hands under?
So she will be the final reward of the battle pass, the paid track. There is going to be a free track as well, and there's also going to be a prestige track. The way the prestige track works. Oh, look at this Hopper
There we go.
PI.
That
I
looks
thought the other
good.
one was cool. Yeah, this is looking very cool.
This is.
I
He
wanna-
looks great.
Wait, did they
I
change
want
his
that shirt.
face?
I want it.
Oh, his face looks different even in the card
This will
art now.
be part of the prestige track. So the way it works is you'll finish the battle pass and you will unlock the prestige track after that, which will reward you with more skins. First off being the Hopper PI Apollo.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, this is the one I'll be using for sure.
Yes,
Same.
and he's got he looks like he's been hit in the head.
He's been in a fight.
True.
Yeah.
He's a brawler. He's tough.
But that shirt is beautiful.
Yeah. I'm an Apollo main now, so that's cool.
So these will have.
I wasn't
believe,
until
the same
now, but I
effects,
might have
same
to play
voice pack
Apollo.
as their adjacent counterparts from the regular Battle Pass track. But we can give the voice pack a listen if we'd like.
You better go home. Something's wrong. It's your grandma.
Oh my god.
That's so good. What a good reference.
Is that the original voice?
And then
feel like it's
with the
not.
prestige track, we will also have Star Court
I
11.
mean, I guess maybe they didn't get him
Scylla.
because he's a full-time actor.
With this outfit, yes.
Stylish.
This is super cool. Like I love the contrast between the two different like skins we've got for 11.
Yeah.
Yes, so different, and I love this. You
I
can see
prefer
like
this
all the
one,
little
but
sprinkles like
at the
following
same
her,
time,
and we've also got the ice cream
that's gonna be a
shop,
lot of
the
grind
ahoy
to
in the
get.
background, calling out those references from the show.
I'm assuming.
So neat. Also, I don't know if y'all knew this, but Starcourt Mall is actually in Georgia.
Oh, no, I had no idea.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
awesome. I'm
It's
tempted to both go or never go.
right, right, absolutely. I think it's actually called something else, but that's where it was shot at. Oh my God,
That
yes!
looks
Look
so
at her.
Her expression and her hair are like, I don't know, they just really work well together in the skin.
Yeah.
Spot on. Let's listen to the voice pack again.
I am better than 10. I am 11.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to laugh in the middle of that. It was just
That's a good voice line.
Dead.
It is. So again,
Cancel the Stranger
those will be
Things
part
collab.
of the prestige track.
Over.
And then just to go over some of the other items that you can get, the free track in the Battle Pass will have the Demogorgon Avatar, a Run Global Emote, 11 Announcer Pack, the Mind Flayer title, and tons of other content as well. You can check out the update notes. It's got a ton of things listed out there for you as well. But I do believe now that we've shown off the arena map and we've shown off tons of our Battle Pass content, we can go back and show you guys the final reward for the Poseidon skin for the Court of Midnight event.
Oh,
so we
perfect.
can see that
That's
Kraken.
exciting.
Here we are.
Ooh, the tech wave. That's so cool.
That's super awesome.
On the 1 and the 2. Hell yeah.
I like it, but it's not the
that's so
first
cool.
skin that does that, right? It's a T-Rex.
It's almost like pixelated 3D or something.
Oh, that 3 looks sick.
Nice.
That looks so good. I love the noise with
Wait,
it.
wait,
too.
wait. Was that a stingray?
No, it's the
What?
floor. I was confused too.
I could have sworn I just saw a stingray in the middle
It's-
of that, but
it's-
maybe it was part of the ground. Maybe it was
Yeah,
part
it's
of
the
the map.
ground.
It's definitely possible.
Something to look out for. All right, Kraken.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Are you gonna go for it, Pawn? Or are you gonna go for it? I'm excited for this.
There it is.
Nice.
Look at it go. Oh, that is sick.
That is so awesome.
There's
I
its
love
face.
those
That's
pink
what I'm-
accents.
Yeah, the electricity out of the mouth when it juts out too, so great.
Wait, Poseidon has still a passive, right?
We're getting some
No,
pentas with this skin.
Oh yeah.
Broke it. I don't know. I think that skin is fine, but it's definitely not my favorite.
Yeah.
So many cool ones.
Hey.
Things you wish could happen in your own games, right?
True.
So sick. So that again, we were just going back to show you guys the Court of Midnight final reward that will be available if you choose the buy all option from that event that goes live with the mid-season update. But that is going to cover the content that's part of the mid-season update, the 8.6 mid that comes out next Tuesday. But we're also going to, like I said, the mid-season update is going to be 6 weeks long. So that means that we're going to have 2 mid updates in between mid-season and the next update. So we'll have 2 in the middle, and we'll go over the content for the first mid update right after this message.
Oh, I'm worried. What's the sound? Is this copyrighted? I think this might be copyrighted. I don't know. It might be. I mean, we've kind of seen it already. We know what it is now, so I think we don't need to play the song. Just want to make sure I'm not missing out on any sounds, but I think it's just music. Yeah, I think it's just the Stranger Things music again. Okay, nice.
Oh, and welcome back. We have a couple things to go over with y'all in terms of the 8.7 bonus update part 1. Again, 6-week update, going to have 2 bonus updates in between. And we're going to continue talking about the Court of Midnight event. So we just saw the Poseidon. That will be the final unlimited reward that you can get. And we can show you some of the content that you'll be getting with the first bonus update. And we have Shadow Tech Chernobog.
This patch is so long, by the way.
Oh, that
Ooh,
looks so
sweet.
sick. I love those colors. It's like a orange creamsicle or something.
I dig it.
Let's check it out in game. Oh my gosh!
Wow,
Wow. He looks so clean.
Like the yellow accents on the wings are just remarkable.
And that pulls through like on his, almost like the gears on his knees.
Yeah.
And his
I think he looks actually
ankles
kind
and
of
elbows,
similar
like anywhere there's like
to the
a
Gap
joint.
skin in terms
He's
of
got
color
some
theme,
yellow
which I
highlights.
like.
That's so
Could be
sick.
cool dual lane together.
Let's listen to the voice pack.
We've got the tech, we've got the strategy, we've got the skills. Let's get to work.
Oh, I like his accent.
Yes,
Sweet.
let's get to work.
Eastern European accent.
I love it. I think those wings look really amazing. I love the black too.
Ooh.
And then we've also got
Whoa.
Coral Coast Yamoja.
These are the skins I was talking about.
Super cool.
Let's
so
go.
Stylish.
I love this skin.
I think it's really cool.
And look in the background, you've got Poseidon back there.
You're gonna love the next one.
Yeah,
especially.
Morgan. Yeah, very cool. Cucullin.
Dude,
Oh, the-
she looks
the
incredible.
pineapple
She's
drinks.
ready to
Sunglasses. Oh
Let's
yes.
go.
Yes, and the pineapples. Like she's ready to chill.
Yeah.
Have a good time, and you better not make her
I
mad
vibe
getting
with
her
this
away
skin.
during her
I
vacation.
want to play the skin.
True. You
Her
will,
vacation
you will
on the
get
battlefield.
splashed.
Yep.
Yes.
We want to hear the voice pack.
She looks so good. Let's listen to her voice pack.
The sun is shining on me, honey. The queen has arrived.
Yes, she has.
There's
yeah.
a particular group in
She's on
Smite that will
vacation,
be
but
all
she
over the
demands
skin.
attention.
100%.
Love it.
Actually,
So
multiple
again, that will
groups
cover
for
the
different reasons.
Court of Midnight event. That will be a new event that goes live with the mid-season update, and during the first mid update of mid-season, we'll get a second wave of content from there.
There.
We've also got the summertime chest
Yes.
with Danger Noodle
I'm
Kukulkan.
This is
So in
actually
love.
happening. Yep. We're bringing in the noodle.
Oh
Man,
my
all,
god,
and
this is
the
so
longer you look, the more
good.
references you see. Look at all the Morgans back
Yeah,
trying
there.
to
I
see.
love it. All three of them.
That's
Oh my
Smiling,
gosh.
Succulent,
It's so
Noir,
cute. Look at this
Afro,
Kukulkan.
Cerberus,
Hercules.
Hercules.
about-
Cerberus. Oh gosh. Oh yeah, yeah. That's it. We've
That's
done
it.
it.
Sold.
How do we top this? Oh my
This
gosh.
cannot
the
be
animation
topped.
Just swirling around.
Smite is
Yeah.
a serious game.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Danger Noodle Kukulkan. Part of the summertime chest. You could also get it for direct purchase if that's more your thing. But let's listen to the voice pack.
Whatever you do this summer, make sure you make a splash.
Why do so many gods that I don't even play get such
gosh.
good skins
Yep,
this
it's
patch?
great.
I can't think
I
of
have to
anything
change
more
all my
perfect.
mains.
But with the
I
summertime
don't
chest,
have
we'll
mains.
also have Sandcastle Slasher Daji. And y'all aren't ready for this.
I'm still on this skin. Can we look at this for another half hour? Yes.
Oh, I
thank
forgot
you.
we're going to head in game for this. My bad.
Even better.
I mean, yeah, exactly. This
must.
is amazing.
And he's
Oh my
shooting
God.
water out
Oh!
of... You know how people
Oh,
would
look
do
at
that?
that.
They'd fill the noodle and
Yeah.
then
Oh,
they'd
we're
spray
gonna
it? Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Oh my gosh. So many different pool toys.
Oh, this is so good.
And it sounds
audience
watery.
for this, yeah.
It's a
That
yeah,
is
no
amazing.
I
way.
love the like inflatable.
Oh.
That's so
This is
great.
gonna be so confusing with the
Wow.
Like the
Poseidon.
firing sound there was awesome. Oh, we're gonna do it to him.
Uh-oh.
Goodbye.
Oh, this is so good. This is so good.
Oh, look how happy he is about it. He's proud of
He's
himself.
so happy.
The jump is so good.
Yes. I love it.
That noise it
So,
makes.
yes. Sandcastle
Who
slash
cares about
Daji.
this one?
There it is.
We're
There
still
it
on the
is.
Kukulkan.
So pretty.
The background
Oh my
thing was pretty
gosh.
funny.
Yeah, I love that
Having a
pink
good
color.
time.
So good.
It's
I was
like,
taking a selfie. Nice.
yes. It's like almost corally pink, but it's, yeah. And then she's
Wait,
got
her
the sandcastles in the
hands are
background.
sand blades. That's kind of
Flower
cool.
art. Yeah, the flower. You can really see it there. I love the
I want to
flower.
see
art.
a, I want to see a text
Oh,
Sign.
so pretty.
where the claws
I
come
love
out.
these summertime skins.
I love the like ribbons in
Wait.
the tail too. That's so awesome.
Yeah.
It's not ribbons, that's
so
beach
she's got
towels.
the one tail, and then
Is
all
it?
of the like parts of the sash that she tied are like making up for the rest of her
Oh,
tails.
maybe not.
So
I thought it was beach
creative.
towels, so it was like part of the clothing.
And she's got a beautiful flower in her hair, looking festive.
True.
Let's give the voice pack a listen.
No, just give me the sand claws. I want to see the sand claws.
The perfect day to play in the sand.
Really going game.
Yes. And I'm sure we can already assume, you know, that from the card art you could see her ult. Go back and take a look if you want. It's in the notes. Download the
Oh, true.
wallpapers.
I'm not
Yeah, I
gonna
was
show
wondering
it.
what that was. You're right.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That makes sense.
Yep. And that will cover it for the summertime chest. Both of those skins, the Kukulkan and the Daji, will be available in that chest, but direct purchase, again, more your thing. And then last but not least, we have a Jingwei skin.
Oh, the emoji skin is not...
I love this theme.
The emoji skin is part of the
Shadow Spirit theme. It's very cool.
Yes. And her wings, oh my god.
I love it.
They've got that organic
Don't love
material
Jingwei,
holding
but
them
I
together,
love the
but
skin.
then like the almost like butterfly wing material.
Kind of wish it was not Jingwei getting a skin.
Absolutely
But
stunning.
actually,
Almost
no
like
one
stained glass.
Jingwei to
So
get skins.
That's what I was gonna say. Let's see it in game. Maybe we can get a better idea of the texture.
Less people playing Jingwei, the better
Oh,
for the
sweet.
game.
And on the bow, too. Oh, it's super cool.
And her
fantastic.
headpiece.
It's changing color, too, like breathing almost.
Oh my god,
Like,
yes.
Oh,
the
wow.
energy on her legs as well as like
those
vibrating.
wings are sick, yeah.
So this will be from
that breathing
the,
effect is
from
really
the
nice.
Shadows chest. Again, you can always direct purchase if that's your thing. But this is so beautiful between all those blues and purples. Let's listen to the voice pack.
The forest calls, and I answer.
Actually,
I can't even hate this, even though it's Jingwei. I can't hate it. It's so cool.
I love her.
I agree.
I love the bow. I love all of the like the highlights. I feel like when we have those
This patch
really
is so
bright,
crazy.
they're almost like hot blue.
Yeah.
So again, that will be from the Shadows chest, and it's not called Shadows chest. It's called From the Shadows chest. So when I was saying it's from the Shadows chest, I was not stuttering,
gotcha.
although I do that a lot. But that is going to basically wrap up everything. We talked about the 8.6 bonus update. We talked about the mid-season update. We talked about the 8.7 Part 1 bonus update. We talked about the Stranger Things Battle Pass and what to expect with that. If you missed anything, it's all available for you on the notes. If you've got questions, go ahead and put them out into the world. Do at Smite Game or at Titan Cupcake, or we've got High Res Dandy and Clumsy if you guys have questions. But we hope you guys enjoyed the show. It's been really fun hanging out with y'all. We are so excited for mid-season, and PTS will be live on Friday. Stay tuned for all of the details about that on our social channels. But again, thank you so much for joining me, Clumsy, and welcome, Dandy. Thank you so much for joining me as well. Any parting words from y'all before we head out?
Thank y'all for having me here. I'm super excited to be a part of this, and I hope to see y'all more in the future with this. I'm thrilled. I love being here.
Yeah,
Yay.
absolutely. It's good having you, and welcome everyone to a world with no boots.
Oh, yeah. A bootsless battleground.
No
Well,
shoes,
that's gonna
lots of
be it.
items, some wins.
Yeah.
No
a little
shoes,
bit of
all
everything
service.
for everyone. But that's going to be it for us here today. If y'all need anything, let us know. But until next time, stay sweet, and we'll see you on the battleground.
See ya.
Bye, y'all. Happy mid-season.
Alright, I'm gonna have to mute this here before the music gets in. Huge patch. Great patch. Crazy patch. Some changes that I would have liked to see happening didn't happen, but it doesn't really matter because the entire meta is going to be overhauled completely. So whatever change I had in my mind before, you had in your mind before, it won't matter. Everything will be different, 100%. Just the removal of boots alone, the entire overhaul of the Conquest map, it's a lot. It's a lot in a really good way. It makes me really happy. I really want to see patches like this that just give us action. This patch delivered all around. I think I've never been happier with a patch as a whole before. Like there've been very good patches before and there've been bad patches before, and this one is just doing everything right in my opinion, even though it's going absolutely crazy in some regards, and I'm sure there are going to be some things that are going to be completely broken. Like I already have my eyes on some. Like I think there's good potential for certain guards to be completely out of control, but it's going to be fun, and that's the main point. So yeah, with that, thank you very much for watching. We'll break this down further. Okay, I'm getting an iPad ad. Interesting. We'll break this down further in the patch notes review. So yeah, we'll have a look at that and then talk more specifically about the changes. So if you want to see that, click like and subscribe. You'll get notified of everything when it comes out. I'm gonna head to bed. It's very late now. Thank you very much for watching. Duke Sloth out.